Well, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Y'all know what this is. This is Friday, so this is what we call Black Friday. What we do on that, we open up the phone lines for businesses to call in 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973, and we talk about anything business, anything that's going on in business, in the business world. If you have an event, if you have something that's going on in your community that you want to talk to us about, and you want to have some free advertising. Free advertisement. That's what we do here. We give it to you absolutely free. All you have to do is give us a call, 678-381-1973, 678-381-1973. Give us a call, and we will give you a platform where you can talk about your upcoming event, your business, or whatever you have. We will give you an opportunity to talk about it and talk about it in its entirety. And only thing we're going to charge you is 0.5 cent. 0.5 cent. Now, if you could tell me what that is, give it to me. If you can't come up with it, don't worry about it, because that's what we're gonna charge you. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Badger, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Grand Rising, everyone.
Good deal. Let me see. Something must be wrong with the phone lines. Let me see what's going on with my phone line. Let me see. Something must be wrong with the phone line. As a matter of fact, let me call in. Let me turn this phone line. Wait, let me see. Let me get the phone line up and running. Something he said something must be wrong with it. He's trying to call in and we having an issue. So we don't have I'm gonna tell you something, my badger. We don't have problems, brother. We have solutions. That's what we have.
Exactly.
We
Just
never
work
have.
through them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we do. I'm gonna call that brother in right now. You're gonna hear something for a second. And then after you hear that, see if they can't call us, we'll call them. We like if look, if they can't call in, we call them. Captain Leonard, good morning, Captain Leonard. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good morning. Can you hear me, Raheem?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better. Say good morning to Badger.
Good morning, Badger. How are you?
Good. How are you, brother?
All right.
Now y'all know this is Black Friday. We talk anything and everything that is business, and so I usually lead the charge, but I'm not gonna lead the charge today. I'm gonna let y'all lead the charge. So Badger, what business wise, what are some of the things in the business world that you think people may fall short, or may just be able to do just a little bit better to uplift their business and the opportunities that they have? What do you say to that, Badger?
Equality.
Let's talk quality. That's good. Let's talk about quality. How could they
Equality.
equality? Okay. Let's talk about it. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. What exactly does that mean? What does it look like? And how
All
how how could our listeners utilize it?
all people are the same. We're all human beings. There's no
Mhm,
difference whatsoever aside from our individual experiences.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Okay.
So it's just learning to accept people for the way they are.
Mhm. And that I'm gonna tell you something, Badger. And I love that, and I love the idea and the thought of that. But how long is that bridge? How long is that bridge in distance wise that it's gonna take for us to cross? How long is that bridge? Is it a short or a long bridge? What would you say?
That depends on the people running the business and where they're at.
Mhm.
Some are span across the world. Some maybe span over a creek.
Mhm. And you got some individuals out here that really don't care, and everybody have their own stance on it. But some people just don't care about it at all. They just say, "I'm gonna live my life, and I'm gonna do what I have to do, and what they do is what they do." Is that a bad place to be, Badger?
That's a dangerous question. I don't think I'm ready to answer yet.
Okay. 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 That's good. Leonard, what do you say to that? What are some of the things that people could do in the business world, in the business community, to uplift their business, take their business to a totally different level that some people may be overlooking?
Well, it really just depends on if you've done an assessment of your performance.
Mhm.
How well has your business done? Did you
Mhm.
set objectives at the beginning of last year?
Mhm.
If you have not set any objectives, you're pretty much working with a clean slate.
Mhm.
So you can set objectives now that you want to accomplish. If you want to put a plan out and say by the end of the year, I'm going to have so much more in revenue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're going to have to identify how are you going to get that revenue.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have to do to meet the objectives that you have set? It's not a feeling thing. It's an objective type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you want to increase the number of customers, if you don't have a digital platform yet, if you are not serving customers in a certain area yet, you may want to expand what you offer to people.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how have you assessed your business. What are your particular business needs?
Mm-hmm.
There's no one size fits all. If you got a nonprofit, because that's what I've been doing lately as far as infrastructure and things like that for different corporations,
Mm-hmm.
is you need to make sure that you have declared whatever revenue that you have. You should know what should be reported, what you don't have to report.
Mm-hmm.
I think most nonprofits at this point are usually going to be filing the 990.
Yes.
That 990 IRS form pretty much declares what it is you've been doing with any money that you have taken in.
Mm-hmm.
Because people often forget, nonprofit doesn't mean you don't make no money.
Yeah. Yeah. And Leonard, and
That means
I'm glad
use the profit for a particular purpose.
I'm glad you said that, Leonard. Now, how often is it that people don't understand it? They think that nonprofit, man, we can't make no money. How we gonna do a nonprofit business? And people really have that idea, but at the same time, to run any business, it takes a certain amount of money. You have to pay people to help you.
Right.
You have to pay people to be in your corner, be dedicated to it, because people do it for free for a minute, but at the same time, sometimes people gonna need money because they got bills.
You can make millions.
Yeah.
You can make millions with nonprofits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You just have to account for the millions. That's all. And the millions have to be used for the purpose that you declared that they would be used for when you started your corporation.
So basically, pay yourself. Put yourself on the
Yes,
payroll.
you can. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Badger, are you
and pay everybody and pay yourself well.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so when somebody get that, a lot of people say with the 501c3, they say people say they don't want to get it because of the government. And then I'm glad you brought this to the table. A lot of people say I don't want to do that. I don't want to get a 501c3 because the government all up in my business now. Now the government all up in my business. Now they're gonna tell me how to run my business. Leonard, is that always true?
No, not at all. The government rarely bothers you at all.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why people usually screw up with their 501c3s is because they do things other than what they told the government they were going to do.
Yeah, they create situations.
That's the issue with those nonprofits, and a lot of them are commingling funds to hide them from tax purposes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is why people usually fail with 501c3. It's because a lot of times they didn't even go into the 501c3 with the right intent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you go in with, some people go into 501c3 with the intention of laundering money.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell
on
you,
that lower level.
And they're gonna find out about you now. You might get away with it for a minute. You
Oh,
might,
yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you something.
Once you hit that threshold, or somebody see you with too much, or you doing something that they don't care for,
Yep.
or you mess around there and get in a disagreement with someone who says, you know what, let me go pull a late status.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. And there you have. If your paperwork ain't in order, you got problems.
Right.
You got some
problems. Plenty problems.
Mm-hmm. And look here, not the kind of problems you want either.
No, you don't want them.
Exactly. Badger, what do you say to that, man? What do you know? Are you up on the 501c3 situation and how people think and in regards to the government being involved in their business and running their business, and they can't do this and they can't do that, and so limited? What do you say to that?
Man, I don't care for it at all.
Mm-hmm. You don't like 501c3?
That I don't know much about, but the idea of the government being involved in running it bothers me.
Okay, that's not always this. We're talking to people, and what Leonard just said as well. That's not always the case. People have that idea in their mind that the government is going to, but Leonard, that's not always the case. The government don't, I'm not gonna say they don't care, but they're not gonna be there, looking at every little thing you do and every little pencil you buy.
No,
They're not sitting there
no,
hovering
because
over
you're
you.
self-reporting.
Yeah.
You're self-reporting.
You
It's
said a
what you report.
501c3?
501c3.
You know, and there's different types of 501c3s as well. Excuse me. There's different types of 501. There's different types of nonprofit organizations. They're not all 501c3s, but they are 501c4s and things of this nature.
People don't know about
have
C4s.
a particular purpose.
A lot of people, Leonard, don't know about. I found out about the C4s about 2 years ago. Is when I found out about that. I didn't know anything about that, and not that I know everything, because I certainly don't. But that 501c4, I didn't even know that existed. Somebody said 501c4. I looked at them like they was crazy. Man, hold on, you mean C3, right? And then, nah, brother, nah, let me talk to you. And they told me about the 501c4. And there was another one out there.
There's various types related to what you're doing. You have the 501c section of the tax code is for those things, people that are operating, corporations operating under a purpose that is considered non-exempt by the federal government. Usually something that has a lot of social margin, whether it be research, education, religious activities, political activities, and things like that. It could be for educating the community on various candidates and things of that nature. Like churches always use that excuse when you ask them about politics.
Yeah. And
we can't. So you can talk about what you want to talk about. You just don't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
I just pulled up the differences between those two.
Go ahead. What you got?
Under the IRS rules, a 501c3 is a nonprofit for religious, charitable, or educational purposes. These types of nonprofits typically conduct research and can only engage in a limited amount of lobbying, advocacy, or political activity. Donations to a 501c3 group are tax deductible. A 501c4 is a social welfare group and can engage in more advocacy and lobbying. The U.S. Supreme Court ruling allows businesses and unions to donate unlimited money to 501c4 groups, and they can be tied to so-called super PACs, which raised and spent millions on political advocacy during the 2012 elections. Donations to the 501c4 groups are not tax deductible, and donors are often not disclosed.
So the 501c3 is they can get their money back at the end of the year. They can file taxes on it, but the 501c4 they cannot.
Right.
So it's more, and that's why most people lean more to the 501c3, because people be able to actually get their money back without and filing on their taxes. The money is just not out in the air. With the 501c4, if somebody donate to you $10,000, $20,000, or whatever, that money is just gone. Even though what people don't realize,
money's not going.
Yeah. That's what I'm about to go. Go ahead, Leonard.
Not tax deductible.
Exactly. Because even with that, if I'm not mistaken, Leonard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not all the way up on this. But if you could give somebody up to a certain amount of money and still write it on your taxes, whether it's 501c3 or 501c4, correct?
No,
the gifting
that's
tax.
What the rule is. So the donations to 501c3 are tax deductible. 501c4s, they're not.
Okay. Now, what about the gifting law? There's just a gifting tax, whatever the proper verbiage is. What about that?
Depends on what the gift is for. As long as the gift isn't, as long as whatever that gift isn't used to violate the rules of your organization.
But
like, say, for instance, 501c3s can engage in political activity. However, they can't use any of their funds, nor can a substantial portion of what they do be in politics. So if you do 25% of your business as a 501c3, As long as it doesn't support a particular candidate, you can do those things.
Okay.
However, if your influence in legislation, if I have an organization and we do a lot of different things, and I have one section for politics, that's just one section of my business.
Okay.
The rest of my business is not politics. The rest of my business is doing other things in the community.
Okay.
So your 501c3 has that more than substantial portion of whatever it is you're doing going to political work.
Okay.
Because then someone will question you, and you have to be able to answer the government's question.
Yeah. And so and some of those questions are straight, directly, and right to the point. They want to know exactly what is it.
And they're not difficult questions. You just have to be doing things within the mission that you said you were doing when you created that corporation.
Okay, that's good. That's good. What you got over there, Badge? I see you researching, brother. What you come up with?
It's interesting. Gift tax limit annually is 15,000.
Yeah.
Lifetime is
It used
11.
to be 10. It went up. It used to be 10. Okay, it's gone up a little bit. Okay, that's good.
Most taxpayers won't ever pay gift tax because the IRS allows you to gift up to 11.58 million over your lifetime without having to pay gift tax.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
People, like, say for instance, when organizations, a lot of organizations are surviving because of what you would call an endowment, for instance. You may have something that leaves things to people in their will and all these types of things. Those are gifts. But if you have imagine the reason why the rule is there, because the rule that was being violated was that folks were gifting organizations money to avoid paying tax on them or reducing their tax liability. And somehow they were able to make the funds that they donated still for their personal use, as opposed to what the use of that particular entity that they donated them to.
Okay. They were being underhanded, basically.
So, like, say, right, you get caught trying to do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
That's how you get caught.
Okay. That's good. What else you got? What else you got there, Badger?
Oh, it's just an interesting conversation. You know, I haven't heard of these terms, so I'm looking them up.
Yeah.
Because I don't want. It's not good to be uneducated. Exactly.
And see, the thing about it, you educated me because I knew about the gift tax, but my understanding was it went up to 10,000. I didn't know that they extended it to 15.
Yeah, I think that was for this year, 2021.
Or it was? Okay, yeah, because I know for a long time it was 10,000, and that was the peak. You could only give them $10,000, $10,000 and 10 cents.
Right.
You violated. And so now that it's 15, that that's gonna be good for a lot of people. That's gonna be good for a lot of people and a lot of businesses, because But my thing is, you can't. How did you not get that money back though? If I give your business $15,000, I can't I can't put that on my taxes at all. I can't do anything on my taxes with that money that I just gifted you.
Well, why are you giving it? What kind of business I got?
Man, I'm just throwing the question out there, brother. I'm the question asker.
Exactly. That's what matters.
Yeah.
If you're gifting it, why would you want it back?
Well, for tax purposes, the same reason that people do 501c3.
No, that's underhanded. That's underhanded, is what that is.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
that. I'm with Leonard on this one.
No. Now it's getting up on the question asker. But my thing, but seriously, my thing is this right here. If Dylan, you have a business, and I want to support your business and underhanded stuff aside, and I say, well, I'm going to give you $12,000. I'm going to give you $12,000 to help your business out. There's no way at all an individual could come back and say, well, I gifted this amount of money to this organization. Is there any tax benefit for me for doing so?
Okay, hold on. Isn't there a difference between gifting and donating?
The first time you called it a business. The second time you called it an organization.
Well, organization business, Just come on, Nelly. Why you gonna do me like that, man? Why you gonna do?
Well, because words
That's what I
matter.
do. I have
Labels matter.
to do taxes.
Okay, but is there? Boy, y'all something else. Is there any way though? Is there any way at all? And this ain't necessarily for me, but it's for the other people that's listening.
Hey, Leonard.
If anybody knows, certainly call in as well. 678-381-1973. 678.
I mean, you can do it, but the test is, why are you doing it?
Well, you're doing it to
Why
help.
are you doing it?
You're doing it to help, but at the same time,
But
you know, if there's a way,
if there's a way
that I could get my money back, huh?
To help you, right?
Yes.
I'm giving you $15,000 to help you, but you're giving it back to me. How is that helping you?
Well, a lot of time, you probably won't get the whole $15,000 back if you for tax purposes. You're certainly not gonna get it all back.
Okay, hold on.
Because my thing
for tax purposes.
Well, no. What I'm saying is right here. Y'all listen to what I'm saying. If I gift it to you, is there something in the tax bracket that if I give somebody say $11,000, if I give somebody $11,000, can I write that on my taxes that I gifted these people this amount of money?
Your DKM group, right?
Can hear both of y'all.
Oh.
Go, it don't matter which one go first, one at a time. Go ahead, man. Both of y'all so kind. One of y'all gonna say a word. Both of y'all so kind. But go ahead, man. What do you say?
To my understanding of what I'm looking into and stuff is, if you're giving it as a gift, it is a gift. If you are donating to something like a 501c3, then you can put that on your taxes. So if you're gifting it, it sounds like it's a oxymoron. I don't.
Oxymoron.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you say?
If you're trying to get it back.
What do you mean? What do I say?
And see, that's the part that I'm having an issue. That not necessarily even an issue. I'm having a hard time comprehending. And comprehending isn't the right word. I understand what y'all are saying, but I can't get any of that back on my taxes because of the fact that I gifted it. I can't get any of that back. It's just gone basically for a good cause.
Well, first of all,
but it's gone.
It's not gone. If you're donating it to an organization that has a 501c3 declaration, you can write it off on your taxes.
Okay.
If
that's my question.
If you're donating it to any type of other business, you have to think about it. Why are you giving them the money? Is it an investment? Are you expecting a return? What's the deal? If you're just gifting it to them, you're not expecting it back.
Okay. And there lies the answer. And there lies the answer right there.
Yeah. The gift verbiage is a little word that you use to get away with doing something that you normally wouldn't be able to do.
Okay. That's good.
So that's why you call it a gift, to get around it being something that could be possibly criminal.
Because I see Mathis and Judy all the time. People go in the courtroom when they owe somebody some money, and the first thing they'll say, well, it was a gift. It was a gift. Yeah, I didn't think I had to pay it back. It was a gift. They gifted me that $10,000, or they gifted me that car. Nah,
right. Man. There's a difference between a gift and a loan.
Yeah. Nah, man. Look at this. Look at these text messages that they say they said that they wanted their money back, and you agreed that you was gonna pay it back on this day. Now, if it's a gift, how are you paying it back? There lies they're right there. They're lying the answer right there. I've seen a lot of people get caught up in a situation like that, man. Now, it was a gift. Well, why did you agree to pay it back?
That's called reading the fine print.
Yes, it is. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Badger, what else is on your heart, brother? What else can a business do? Activity that a business could do to make sure that they up the game, if you will.
Promote awareness. Have things that show what's going on. Because I know a lot of businesses take beliefs and politics out. But it still ends up showing up in the workplace, regardless of what they think they're trying to do. To me,
explain to me when you say they're taking their beliefs, and this is for my audience. when you say they're taking their beliefs and stuff like that out, but it still ends up showing up. Explain to me exactly what you mean when you say that.
So you see that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is my colors. It's my tool.
Mm-hmm.
I've had businesses literally tell me that I can't wear this because of my, even though it's something that is part of my beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
But a person can wear their cross.
Mm-hmm. Wow. There's
So
another.
I've had to fight businesses on
Mm-hmm.
this, and most of them go, "All right, you know what? We're not going to get into this argument. Just put it underneath your shirt." And I'm like, "So they can show theirs, but I can't show mine." And I've
Mm-hmm.
had places fire me over it.
Wow. Mm.
So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
um, in a lot of places, freedom of belief
Mm-hmm.
isn't per se allowed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm looking for words because after yesterday, I'm very cautious now.
Nah, man. Nah, don't you be cautious, brother. Say what's on your heart.
Mm, there's a lot of things that are going on under the radar that nobody's talking about. So,
Mhm. Like
uh,
what? Come on, man. We talk, man. Come on now. You ain't gonna back up on me, are you? Talk to me.
it's because of my experiences, I've been excluded out of a lot of things because of my belief.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had someone say that it's just a different type of conscious,
Mm-hmm. Consciousness. Mm-hmm.
but I view it in the same manner as racism or judging.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if those two correlate or not. I don't know if Leonard's ever run across anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's why I got so emotional yesterday, because I was hearing certain labels, but
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't hearing other labels. And because of my experiences, I do get a little bit passionate because it seems like a lot of people aren't saying the whole picture and they're focused only on a piece.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because of my personal experiences, it's really jacked up the things I've seen and the way people's reacted, because there was no difference in colors to how I got treated because of my native path in
Mm-hmm.
businesses and other realms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's
Would you say you were treated fairly?
no, I rarely ever got treated fairly.
Mm-hmm. Is that across the board with a lot of other people that's walked the same walk that you've walked, or
Yeah,
that's individualized towards you?
because any of us that have the mentality of community or wanting to stick up for other people,
Mm-hmm.
your bosses don't like it.
Okay. Badger, let me ask you
Not
this.
leaders, but bosses.
Yeah, exactly. Let me ask you this question. Because I wouldn't necessarily wouldn't understand. I could be very passionate, compassionate towards it, but where is it that you feel that you really belong? Where's your safe place? Where's your safe haven?
At home, away from everybody.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I don't feel safe in social places
Wow.
unless I dress a certain way to attempt to blend in, and I have to keep my mouth shut so I don't have to worry about it.
How does that make you feel having to keep your mouth shut?
Well, for me, it's normal because it's been most of my life I've had to do that.
Mm-hmm. There was a time where you didn't, or you didn't even know that you had to do that. Was that feeling different than what you're having now? I guess realizing that you need to or you should. I ain't gonna necessarily say you should, because you shouldn't, because if you have a voice, speak it. But
Um, because my son,
okay,
I want to be strong for my son.
okay, okay.
Um, because he's also going to have to deal with the same things we have.
Mm-hmm.
He's got He's mixed. He has Jewish heritage, Native American heritage. He also has the Irish and Welsh Scot, the European heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the path he chooses to walk, and then like we fight on their birth certificate, we put that they were Native American, and we're still having a fight because the doctors keep trying to call him white because of his color.
Mm-hmm.
So we're constantly having a fight
So
just for him to be accepted for who he is.
they're trying to erase certain parts of his heritage. They're trying to erase it. Leonard and like
These I don't normally talk about
Mm-hmm.
because to me it seems like everyone's focused on other things. So I
Mhm.
normally just stay quiet about all this stuff.
Well, if you don't talk about it, you know, it's like racism. It's like racism. If you don't talk about it and address it and have that dialogue, it'll never go away. We'll never get to a place where we can understand. And in order for a person to deal with something, sometimes, you know, they have to know what it is and understand that it's there and that it does exist. You got a lot of people that's walking around in the world that they live in and think that racism does not exist. It don't exist. It's no longer there yet. But yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's very real. It's absolutely there. And all kind of different elements and colors and shade. Leonard, what do you
That,
go ahead, Badger?
that's why I brought up equality at the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's good. That's good. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to the people that think that racism don't
I'm just
exist?
listening.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
What do you think? What do you say to the people that have a mindset, an idea in their ideology in their mind that racism does not exist? Is no longer a part of our society. Was a few days ago a rude slap in the face for them when they saw what happened?
Well, I personally, I don't really care what you think.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
You can just pretend to be ignorant or ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
It exists. There's plenty of evidence for it.
Yeah.
And let me clarify, there's nothing like racism.
You say there's nothing like?
That's why it's called That's why it's called racism, because it's about race.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else that's about it. Doesn't relate to nothing else or anything. It's racism.
Mm-hmm.
Sexism is what it is. So a lot of times when people try to, it's like racism. No, it's not like racism.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Racism is what it is, and whatever you're having an issue with has a name for it as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's a difference between how you feel about a situation and the law. The law don't stop things from happening. The law protects things.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone discriminates you because of your race, religion, and any of those protected classes, you have legal rights to challenge them in a court of law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they can just look at you and go on, boy, and sit down, then that's what you do if you can't do nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't feel like doing nothing else. Or if you just don't let them win.
What do you say to?
But it does not ensure anything.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do you say? What do you say to an individual? What do you say to a person, Leonard? And I know the answer to this, but I'm asking you the question because of now who is that trying to call me on doggone Facebook? Who is that trying to call me this morning on Facebook? Okay, I can't answer that. But what do you say to the people? And call me on 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Again, 678-381-1973. What do you say to the people, Leonard, that sit back and see it, know it's there, but do nothing? Because you're not that guy. Badgers isn't that guy. So what do you all do? And this question is for both of y'all. What do you do when you see somebody that's just sitting there? They know what's happening. They see it.
Wait, hold on. Did you say I'm not that guy?
Yeah, you're not that guy. You're not gonna sit around and just watch somebody get assaulted or abused.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the other thing. I was about to get up on a soapbox.
I saw you get a little strong up there. I saw you get a little strong up. I like a Badger getting strong up over there. Leonard, look at Badger. But Leonard, what do you say to a person that will sit back? Because you know, if I see something going on, I'm gonna say something about it. I'm gonna address it. And if I see some other people, man, why y'all ain't saying nothing? What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all gonna sit here and act like y'all don't see this? I know y'all see it. What do you say to that, Leonard?
I mean, it just depends. What are you gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? What's your plan?
Mm-hmm.
Some workplaces have unions. A lot of workplaces have ways to handle issues in the workplace. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you do. Whatever it is, wherever you're at. I don't care if you strike. I don't care if you walk out. I don't care what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you.
Is there a proper way, Leonard? Is there a proper way to handle it in the workplace?
Yes, read your guidelines,
Mm-hmm.
your work guidelines. There's a little section there on how to handle grievance.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go through that. If that doesn't work and it's a business operating in a certain area, there are other rules that apply as it relates to EEOC.
Mm-hmm.
National Labor Relations Board handles issues in the workplace as well.
Yeah.
So it just depends. If you don't have a bargaining agreement, there's ways to address just about everything that happens.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take the time to find out and read about it or whatever, it's your loss.
Exactly. And I think Badger just saw the screen what what Pete said. I think he just saw the screen and said, "Yeah, I saw the flame in his eyes." Yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you some piece. He was about to flame up. He was about to go in, wasn't he? I saw it. I said, "Hold on, look at Badger." Badger, but what do you say to that? And let me say it again. Seem like get that same spark in you. You're not that guy.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Most of the places I've worked at, like Walmart and stuff, I was known by most of the managers to be a very hard worker. But if I saw someone getting mistreated, they knew I would also cuss them out in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if they were being mean to somebody and I know for a fact that they were just lazy, irregardless of how they looked,
Mm-hmm.
I'd walk up to them and go, I understand that manager's being rude and you're talking back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Get off your tail end and work properly, then I'll back you up.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, leave.
Mm-hmm.
You're a problem. You're not an answer.
Mm-hmm. You can't tell the fella or the lady to lead a job, man. They got responsibilities too now.
Well, they were hired the same as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the more they act up and misbehave and do all that kind of stuff, they stress out the manager, they stress out the fellow associates that they're working with,
Mm-hmm.
and they're harming the community that are in the workplace, not helping it.
Mm-hmm. So you gonna tell them to get up out of there?
Yeah, I would. I've done it. I've told managers to leave because they didn't deserve the position that they got because they didn't do anything.
A bone almost came out your mouth that time, but a bone almost came out your mouth that time. Look here, we got a caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
All right.
Hey, thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God.
Let's not sing it. Let's talk it.
Let's talk it.
We can't do good as we do it.
Exactly. Look at we can't, man. We just not. That's not our lane, brother. Let's stay in our lane. Stay in our lane. This is Black Friday.
I was trying to figure out what was a good time to come in.
Mm-hmm. What's on your heart? Talk to me.
I want Badger to. He said something just now.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked him to leave.
Yeah.
I've been chief union steward on the executive board of union and Teamsters. So we're transportation and material. So, but the thing that I found out is that some people know their union book, but they don't pay attention to company policy.
Come on.
And when you put them together, it's priceless. Because you can be on anybody's level at any given time. You just got to know when, where, and how. That way you hold everybody is accountable for everything they say and do in the workplace. Can't get away with it. So when I heard Badger say, I just tell him to leave, I said, hold up now. Now I got you,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the union job.
So you can't just tell them to
Because
leave.
oh no,
Mm-hmm.
no sir, not if the company, not if they're well, not you can't send them home.
But
It's not on
if they're not being productive,
job.
they're not being productive for a length of time. They're really not doing. They just
There's a
there.
process.
Mm-hmm.
There's a process. You got to go through the process
Mm-hmm.
because you got labor relations. Now, labor relations can send them home.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I can't quote discipline. That's a disciplinary action, and I can't discipline anybody. That's why labor relations is there. They are the enforcers,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I know. Maybe it's not on nobody else's job, but on mine. There's a process that
Mm-hmm.
even if they can be sitting down and doing absolutely nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't go screaming and hollering at them. Period. Mm-mm. Not if I know them. Not if they know their uh uh the rules, the not only the union but
Mm-hmm.
company policy.
Okay.
Because dignity and respect
Mm-hmm.
is in play,
Okay.
and everybody's entitled. You don't even have to like them. They can be the sorriest worker, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
But you hired them.
But they have to with every job though, Donna, there's a grace period. They have to be there at least 90 days before that kick in.
If they make them 90 days, they got you.
Mm.
I'm not talking about. See, union can't represent a person before 90 days.
Yeah.
They're on their own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They can't do it. You can't keep their job because they don't have none yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call it probation period.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't make your probation period, then it's possible. All you got to do, the manager or the supervisor, whoever it is, can go to labor relations and says, look, this person, we got a problem with him. And they say they review it.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at it because they is a trial period. And I'm not, maybe somebody else's job operates different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why they operate like that is because somebody don't know company policy.
Okay.
Because you can't come up to me and raise your voice. No, sir, I wish you would.
Mm-hmm.
Because you work for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check the book, that's a lack of dignity and respect.
Okay.
For somebody. Should be yelling and screaming and cussing and fussing. You can't do that. That's and then not only that, you have let's use this for an example. A person can come in Bob today.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow they decide, or next month they decide that they want to be Jane. I bet you believe. You heard how I say that? I bet you believe. You bet not. Call them Bob. Or treat them like Bob.
Wow.
I bet you believe it. I bet you they don't have a job and you won't. You can bring your religion in the workplace if you want to. You're going to go home. Start binding folks up in the name of Jesus. Okay. You go to the house and you can bind up anybody you want to.
From your house.
But on the job, you're going to respect them.
From Fort Living Room, you can do what you want to do. From Fort Living Room, you do what you want to do in Fort Living Room.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That don't have nothing to do with making claims.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Or whatever you make.
Mm-hmm.
I said it like that to not say anything.
Exactly.
But, like for instance, if you're working at Walmart,
mm-hmm.
which is not a union job, but if it was, whatever the policies of Walmart, you got to uphold that, and you got to comply to it, no matter how you feel about the next person.
Yeah,
that's what makes the world go around.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna say this: I believe, and it's just me saying it, that Black Lives Matter has a loss against uh, Washington D.C. and they can win it.
Mm. Because
All they
because
got to do is review it. All
because
they
of
got
how
to
it's
do is
treated.
review the tape.
Wow. Wow. Let's go. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Grand Rising, man. How y'all doing this morning, man?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Now, I
So,
noticed that well, I know a part of your history, what you're telling. You used to be one of the representatives, and what Donald is saying, you was listening very intently. What is there anything that you would add or take away from what he said?
I really didn't know what y'all were talking about, but I could tell it was about the workplace. But
Mm-hmm.
from what I did pick up, I think I made this comment once before to other people. Most times, the average person goes to get a job, they don't read their contract or the general company rules. They just signing papers and they want to know when it's payday. How do I get paid on my vacation? They don't even pay attention to the absentee policy. So they get caught up in the point system, and then they start worrying about the days that they were late, the days they were off. Oh man, y'all writing me up, and you got to file grievances for people that just ain't been paying attention to. How can you keep your job or lose your job for missing too many days or being late? Call in. Some people only want to know about the call in because they know they want to manipulate it for the national championship game coming up Monday. You get what I'm saying? So like what he was saying about the respect and being able to get rid of people, there is a quality of life that a company does have to observe. That's the reason why the National Labor Relations Board exists and the EEOC, because you have human influence in anything we do. You have the human emotion that's going to have an influence on how they treat other human beings beneath them. And at one point in time, they wasn't even paying people for labor. At one point in time, they was beating people, firing people, destroying people's livelihood, and there was no rights. So now you have rights, but the company still has rights. So companies, they have attorneys that you don't have. These attorneys already get with these companies and help them organize a set of general company rules. And these general company rules going to protect the company way more than the employee. Now the contractor is going to, protect the employee, is going to let you know your rights as with the union, what you got to do after your 90 days. But most times these general company rules are going to supersede the contract. So that's where the problem comes in. That really truly it shouldn't. Depends on who your union rep is and how the fight is. And then beyond the union rep, you got the people that's over them that you got to make sure they're on the up and up. Because sometimes some of them people be on the payroll. But you really have got to go in being informed about this company that you actually making a trade off for. I'm gonna give y'all my labor, I'm gonna give y'all my time that I'm taking away from my family and my livelihood to do a job for pay. I'm gonna do this, but at the same time, I know that it's something that y'all get out of it, and I got to make sure I keep up my end of the bargain and protect myself. Because the crazy thing is now about jobs is some of these human resource people act like they hire you to fire you because you don't fit the mold, you don't fit the clique. They don't think you're gonna be a company man, even though you ain't even in management. You might just be a regular entry level person. But you just ain't gonna be part of the system because they might want a lot of sellouts or yes men around. They might like people to just run when they're told to run and keep their mouth shut and not use any kind of common sense. And you got common sense and they don't want you there.
Yeah.
But you still, and when you are that person, they might target you. You better know those general company rules because they gonna use them and they gonna know them like y'all know the Bible.
And see, the thing about it is, you got some folks that they tell them to jump, they're gonna look at them and say how high, because that's just that's just how they rolled. Badger wrote something in the chat. Badger, talk to us about that.
So, I don't work in Walmart anymore, but I still know a lot of the managers and stuff, and they've told me that it's gotten harder and harder to actually get rid of lazy people because they start pulling that privilege and threatening of lawsuits or that they've been offended. Which is why I said what I said. I respect what Donald said. I really do. But sometimes the associates need to stand up and get together because it's getting in some jobs. Like I was at the local Walmart the other day, and I literally heard this supervisor say that they were dealing with sexism because there was a manager that wouldn't let them do certain things because they were a woman. And come to find out that person is still, that manager that treated them like that is still working there. And because it's his belief, he's not getting fired for it.
Wow. Wow.
So that's why I take the approach that I take. It's nothing to do with being disrespectful to the person. Go ahead, Rico.
But see, now what if he's protecting himself and not putting them in a situation where, as a woman, they may be putting themselves in danger. And if they get hurt, then they're gonna say, well, you know what? You put them in this situation knowing that they couldn't be lifting this over their head or something like that. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? See, he got to protect themselves too. See, every individual on the job has to protect their best interest because the liability falls back on that person. The company, one thing about it, Walmart would leave that supervisor hanging.
Yeah, yeah.
Walmart would leave that supervisor hanging. And those same people, those employees that, you know, that they're worried about, they don't really have too much leeway because they just started getting insurance on a raise a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the same representation as Walmart had. Imagine the attorneys that Walmart had.
Yeah, yeah. And see, and the attorney, they're gonna ask the question. They're gonna ask one of the questions. Did you see the clear and present danger? You know, with her lifting that thing over her head, did you see the clear and present danger? What could have happened to her if you allowed her to do that? Did you see that? Well, she said I ain't asked you what, you know, you're the supervisor. You're supposed to see the clear and present danger. Did you recognize it?
The companies try to fight workers' comp and FMLA all the time. They want you to use up your FMLA, but they'll fight that workers' comp. Exactly. You know, it's a situation going on like that now with a nurse in Birmingham. She's you know, that book I showed y'all the other day, the white woman that sent me the book. Her friend is a nurse in Tuscaloosa. She contracted COVID from the job. And, you know, they get tested pretty often, being that she's in that, you know, front line. She's been cleared this whole time. And she came across a patient that sneezed on her while she didn't have her mask on. And so she got tested and it didn't show up. She got sick, went downhill, went back and got tested again, found out she had it. So she's like, you know, why didn't it get found out the first time? Well, what happened when the patient sneezed on her, it bypassed the nasal cavity where they find out if you got it in and went straight to her lungs. So she know now through you know, other investigations that came from that woman's sneeze. The hospital and the insurance companies are trying to say she had it before she came to work.
Wow.
So they trying to fight her workers' comp, and when they're worried about their economy, they're worried about their financial end in a pandemic. They still trying to use a legal muscle to refuse. A person is doing a job for them and putting their life on the line. They trying to refuse them their workers' comp that they really deserve, that they got the right to.
Exactly. God is good morning. First, good morning, God. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. What do you say about this? You know, this is Black Friday. We talk everything business, and this is getting good about this on workers' comp and rights that people have in the workplace. What's on your
heart? Really, I'm just gonna sit back and listen right now for a little bit, and I'll join back in. Okay. I just want to hear what everybody's thought process is because I didn't get a chance to hear it beforehand. So I'm gonna listen for a minute and then I'm gonna join back in and then tell you my mind.
I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second before you do that, though.
Okay.
The situation that Rico brought to the conversation about the young lady that wanted to lift something over her head, and now if she wanted it because she's a woman and she said it was sexism, and the boss didn't want to allow her to do that because he probably saw that there's a possibility that you can get hurt. Who was wrong in that situation?
I'm gonna say two things. One is as a supervisor. If you apply for that job and it's in your job description for you to be able to do, say it's 50 pounds, and your job description is this, that you're supposed to be able to lift 50 pounds and nothing more than 50 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
then he is covered as a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
If that box or whatever is not more than 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's more than 50 pounds, because I've worked factory before in my lifetime, I didn't work at Harley Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
If it's less than 50 pounds, or I mean, if it's more than 50 pounds, then he is liable. He's liable. But it's also up to her to be able, like, for example, I know that when I went to work at Harley Davidson, I was a forklift driver.
Mm-hmm.
And my job to be a forklift driver was not to unload the trucks, wasn't to do anything at all or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
But because I knew that I had a bad back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they took us off the forklift and wanted us to start doing other stuff like that.
Okay.
And I refused to, because that was not my job description.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of jobs, and so just to hear what Badger's saying, a lot of jobs do have you do what's not in your job description.
Mm-hmm. They do. They do.
So, I mean, and then when you state that that's not part of my job description, then they might want to kind of get funny and acting and say and all kind of stuff. So I've seen both.
Now you're a problem. When you use that verbiage, now you're a problem.
Right.
Wow. Leonard, let me ask you this question, Leonard. Why do you think there's not a lot of union reps and stuff, a lot of union organizations down south? They're more up north than they are down south. Why do you think that is?
Because one, when there is an abundance of work, then it's not really what people will call a situation where they just need that particular job. When you can just quit one job and go to the next or what have you, you're not concerned. Most people are not concerned in working for certain people and things like that for a long period of time. So they're not looking at their job as a place where they're going to be, that's going to provide for them for the rest of their life. So a lot of people are, we know, especially in the South, there is a huge effort to bust up unions and keep unions out of workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is happening because you have one party that is against work unions. They are against workers' rights. And we know this is the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And if you notice, this is why it's so important when you find out, well, who owns that particular company that all of these things are happening at? Usually it's the person who what? Exactly. Donates to the party or what have you. And then you find out why their culture of their organization is a certain way. It's our way or the highway. I don't have to respect your rights. I'll pay you whatever I want to pay you. I'll fire you if I want to fire you. You know what? We don't want no women working here because women get pregnant.
And see the thing about it,
that's a pre-existing condition, by the way.
Being pregnant.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. How's that a pre-existing condition? You weren't pregnant when you started. You know, you got pregnant.
You're already pregnant. You're pregnant. They used to fire women because of that.
Wow.
I've heard of, and this is the main reason why you have the Family Medical Leave Act. It's because they were discriminating against women. Because at any time a woman gets pregnant, she can't come to work.
Yeah.
Guess what? You know, she's gonna call in ill or whatever, but she's gonna be entitled to some benefits because of her situation.
That's true.
So a lot of people don't care about all that. They don't. A lot of these companies really don't care because you're always a liability when you're working for them.
Okay. Wow.
So you have to always remember that, and you have to remember to protect yourself. You have to educate yourself. on Family Medical Leave Act. You should, when you work for a company, you need to know their policy.
Yeah, that's true.
You need to know their policy for missing work, how to miss work, those types of things. I used to be both craft as well as management. And one, I'm not trying to fire anyone. However, if you have a pattern of behavior that leads to your termination, that's your problem.
Yeah,
not mine.
I'm just
going to document.
That's some fancy.
Going to document.
That's some fancy dialogue. You just said that. How you say that thing? If you what now? Basically saying if you fire yourself. But say that thing again. That was some fancy dialogue you just said, brother.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you can't follow rules, you can't follow rules. I'm just going to document that.
Yeah. That's good.
And if you do it too many times, you're going to be terminated. And me and Rico going to sit down with you, and I'm going to ask Rico what part of the contract did I violate. Because that's the only reason why he needs to be talking to me is because I violated the contract.
Be honest with you.
Contract, and you got to try to appeal to my better nature.
Be honest with you, before I meet with you, if I look and see that it was his fault, I'm gonna let him know, man, I can't waste my time filing this grievance. Yeah. This is all on you. Exactly. You still got obligations.
That's right. That's right. And that's what that contract is for. So we should be making no value judgment. We should just be following the contract.
Now, there's a lot of places.
Called a mutual benefit or something.
There's a lot of places down south, and I notice it's a lot down south, more down south than anywhere else, where they tell you South Carolina's one. I think Georgia's one too. I don't know about Mississippi and other places like that, but I know these two are one, where they say it's a right to work state.
Every state is a right to work.
Yeah. They say a right to work. Well, I don't know if there is as much up north though, Leonard, as it is down south. I don't know too much about it.
Well, the thing about it is, it's because people don't define what that means. They just say it, and it has become a myth that means that people can do whatever they want to do to you.
Yeah, and see that, and that's how it came to me. That's how it came to me.
Work means you have a right to work without being compelled to be in a union.
But they also it also means that they have a right to fire you. They could come to work.
They always have a right to fire you.
Yeah. But see, that's the part that was harped on. That's the part that was harped on a lot. That's the part that's harped on a lot. People say, "Well, I have the right to fire you." Oh, of course you do. You could come to work and if I don't like something that you do or I had a bad night and I want to fire you, you have no legs to stand on. You just fired.
I can do that any day.
Wow.
I can do that any day. That's right. That's a wrongful termination. It's what's called wrongful termination.
Yeah.
Right. You better do it the right way. You better do it the right way.
Right.
Good deal. Let's go to Toya with a T. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, good morning. I love this right here. This is what I do. I do that labor and that law. That's what I do. Affirmative action is not everywhere. Bush put that thing back on the road. Okay? Because now Georgia is one of those affirmative action right to work states. That, you play for the Saints, you fired.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the trickiness comes in when it comes to the law of it, the process of it, the discriminal part of it, where you have to prove that they discriminated against you in order for you to receive compensation. But you're absolutely right. This is a right to work United States.
Yeah, exactly.
Some states have affirmative action where they don't have to follow. What does the Department of Labor? They say you have to lose your job due to no fault of your own. So you can't be violating being late all the time or violating policies because you get fired for that, but you're not getting no unemployment. You can't get no nothing. But now, just because you're black, just because you're a woman, just because you're too good, just because you're slow, just because you whatever, and I fire you for that reason, that's when we start violating affirmative, when we start stepping into affirmative action laws, and you're going to get unemployment. You're going to get unemployment if they fired you. Oh, one time I got fired because, y'all know I like eyebrows and wigs and things. And
no.
And I went to work. I was there about 2 weeks. I got up there, had my wavy hair, had my green eyes in. And never forget, worked for a guy. He looked like he wanted to be me and not like me. So I couldn't get through the door. He said, oh no, ma'am. I don't think this is gonna be for you. You can go ahead and go home. I don't think you can handle it. And I got fired. And I went right there and told him exactly what he said. He concurred, and I got unemployment. So, is it all right? Can you do it? Absolutely. You can do whatever you want to do. But there are consequences and laws and provisions which help us support the financial aspect of what we've been through. And at the end of the day, even that's not enough. The whole system needs to be torn down, ripped apart, and started over.
Oh, I was on mute the whole time. Everybody has a definition of what right to work means from state to state, but it lets me know they're really not informed. And you said something earlier about having obligations at the job and not getting written up, but the employee really needs to know their rights when it comes to write-ups sometimes too, because I know for a fact that you can be told that if you don't sign this write-up, you'll get fired. And sometimes these people will write you up for stuff you didn't do. It wasn't your fault that you didn't make this mistake. You didn't tear up this piece of equipment. They'll still write you up. So what are some of the things that people can do when they're written up and they don't know how to sign it? I know one thing I was told was to say that I was being made to sign this under what's it, the regression or digression or something like that.
Stress and digress.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, that I realize that sometimes, we feel like we go into a job and we don't have people actually in place that's trying to sabotage us. But you have to worry about people trying to sabotage you using those general company rules, using that contract. And you got to know going in there, okay, I don't have to sign this right up. I didn't do this. Maybe when I do sign it, I need to sign it and put this little asterisk at the bottom to let them know, because they will use this and say, well, you know what? You've been written up 3 times. We got to get rid of you. But what if those 3 write-ups was something you didn't do?
Yeah.
So there's always different ways they're going to find to get rid of you if they want to. But as an employee, you got to go in there being more informed about than the vacation days and the check and the point system. You got to actually look out for your survival and your livelihood.
Exactly. Goddess, talk to me. Unmute, sis. There you go.
Yes. Well, I guess what I'm understanding is that I totally have to agree with you on that part. And the fact that a lot of companies make you sign under distress. But it's up to you to advocate for yourself. And when you advocate for yourself, you must have proof. You must have proof. I'm one of the ones that I like to use myself as an example instead of using others or whatever. But I'm one of the ones that worked at a large corporation as a freight broker. And I became one of the top freight brokers during my tenure. The small amount of time I was like, people was there for like 2 or 3 years, and I was there for like maybe 6 months. And I had created enough, I would say, lanes and clientele that I was already at their fee, and they was there for 2 or 3 years, and I was already there. So basically, once I got to that level, I had to worry about other employees hating on you, making a big deal out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you did, it was, and I finally got to the point where white privilege became a major issue in my personal point of view. And that's when I really started paying attention to white privilege. I'm like, okay, so you worried about everything that I wear. Okay. And this lady come in with some leggings on because she ain't got no big butt. And I'm gonna be real honest. And with the shirt that ain't covering her bottom, you know, at least if we wear leggings, I'll make sure my shirt's all the way down almost to my knees. You know, and
so is it almost like there's a double standard in regards to the dress?
Always totally a double standard. They come in with sleeveless shirts on, with the spaghetti straps. That's totally unprofessional. I might have a suit jacket and some nice leggings and a nice long shirt to cover with a suit jacket on. You know, very professional.
You know what? And they just passed. I think it was latter part of last year. The hair situation.
Oh yeah, the Crown Act.
Yeah, they just passed that. So what do you think about that?
We personally, how I feel that we should never have had to pass a Crown Act in the first place. Just because some of us wear our hair permed and straight. If I choose not to wear my hair perm and I wanted to wear my hair natural, curly, and like that with dreads or whatever, it should not be a problem.
Exactly.
It should not be a problem. It should never have been a problem that we have to pass an act for us to wear our hair natural.
Good. That's good. Let me go to. We got Minister Neil. Pull your microphone over to you, brother, so people can hear what you're saying. Good morning. Good morning. Now, what do you say about that? They just passed this hair thing where a person can wear their hair the way that they want to wear it. After all these years, was that a form of discrimination?
Yes. It's evident it was. It's something that I think that has been instilled even from, you think about the young man a couple of years back, and it was in New Jersey. There was the referee made him cut his locks off because of the fact that he didn't feel like it was proper for him to wrestle. And that was nowhere in the guidelines or the rule books.
And it's not.
It's not. So I think that was something that was personally motivated by him. It's interesting that we're talking about hair right now, because I got a friend of mine that I work with. He has locks, and I'm saying locks for a reason, because he said that when you're talking to people who wear them, it's offensive to say dreadlocks.
Wow. I wonder why is that?
Because dreadlocks mean they're dreadful to look at. That's why they don't use that word. I didn't know that till
I didn't know that either.
He educated me on something, because my hair's,
I was today years old when I found out that. I was today years old when I found out that there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was today years
Thank you. I'm learning too.
I know because you
And actually, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
The dreadlock term came from colonial times when they were trying to be colonized, and when they were fighting back, they were really winning battles. And so the enemy, because of the hairstyle that they were wearing, they dreaded these people because they were resistant.
Wow.
Yep.
And so this is why they were dreaded, because of the dreadlocks. These guys with locks in their hair are dreadful to deal with because they're fighting back colonial.
So it wasn't a term of endearment?
No, it was a term because if you engage them, they would defeat you. This is why these areas have a very proud heritage as it relates to fighting back against colonialism.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Toussaint, talk to me.
So this is why they were called dreaded locks.
Okay, dreaded lock. Okay, got you. Okay,
dreadlock.
Toussaint, you there?
Yeah, I'm listening in. I think paper. We let people catch a slip, just like we gonna say. All we want to know is when our vacation is, when can we take off, when can we get our paycheck, and we good. But if you have a conversation with somebody, make notes of that conversation to protect yourself. If you're on the job, I don't care what's being said, especially if you don't agree with it. You don't have to sign nothing. Not here.
Excuse me.
But that don't mean just because you don't sign it that it don't count against you. If you document it and document the conversation.
Okay.
If you have a conversation that causes it to go into a disciplinary action, make some notes. What, when, where, how, and why.
Okay.
Make sure it's documented so they say, hold on, here it is. This is what you said, right? This is when you said it. This is how you said it. You got to be careful about how you say it. Was there anybody there to witness it? Don't go in the office by yourself. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
You just run in there because he called you in the office. If you have somebody to, now that's union, I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, but even in that, there are laws to protect you on the job if they hired you. If you get past them 90 days or 60-day probation period, you are an employee.
Yeah.
And there are company rules to protect the employee.
Wow. That's
there are
good.
some that protect the company, but they look out for you. They can't just come to you and say, I don't like you because such and such and such. Wait a minute, hold on. Are you discriminating against me? Is that, do you treat me like you treat the rest of the other person?
Yeah.
Is it the same? You got a problem here. Have that conversation with them. Don't just let it happen. Go on and on and on and on and on. And then before you know it, well, didn't we write you up for this? Okay, yeah. Well, sooner or later, you're going to get caught up in your own actions because you ignored it. You're scared to lose your job. Don't be scared to lose your job. We're human beings that are different. And there are laws to protect you as a different person.
Yes. Okay.
So, but if you don't document some things, you're just talking because he's your superior boss. Who cares? So you know, just like a right to work state that has a union, you don't have to join the union for the union to represent you. They have to represent you.
You say
but if you
say they have to. You say they have to.
They don't have to. They don't have to do a good job. But they have to go in there with you.
Okay.
And what most unions do is they let you do most of the talking, but they got to be there. Okay. And see, because a lot of people want a union job, you got to build up to a termination. They just can't walk up to you and say, well, you know, you missed yesterday. We don't have to let you go. No, sir. Did you write me up? Okay. But suppose two employees get into an altercation. And if you fire one and don't fire the other one, you got a problem.
Oh, you got a major problem. Absolutely. Let's keep this thing going.
You got a major problem.
Exactly. K with an E. Good morning, young lady. How you doing?
Good morning. Blessed as can be. How's everybody?
Hey, doing good. What's on your heart, sister? We wanted to let you listen in for a minute so you can get up to speed with what we was talking about. But what's on your heart right now?
What are y'all talking about? What's on my heart is just love. What are y'all talking about?
Amen.
The rights in business and what rights people have and what they can and what they cannot do. Unions. We got a lot of things on the table right now. We even talked about the hair bill that just passed, where a person could actually have the right to wear their hair natural or any way that they want to wear it in the workplace. There's so many different things on the table. You pick which one, and I want to hear your heart on it.
Well, I can actually speak on all of them. I did nursing. I did secretary work. They had a problem with you come to work with your scrubs on because you could see through most of the scrubs. And the other, I don't like to call out the colors, but we had a particular white girl, and she used to wear all these little colorful thongs and all this here stuff. Next thing you know, she started cheating with the charge nurse, and he was married, and it was just a whole bunch of confusion at the job, all because of one person and how they was dressing. And of course, he's a man, so he was, it was crazy. And so at the bottom line, if we wasn't able to come to work like that, then it wouldn't have been a problem. And then Terry wanted to dress like that. Well, if she could do it, Terry can do it. No, you're not supposed to dress like that. So it was a big old issue.
Now you know we can't call names on here. Now you know we can't call folks names.
I'm just saying the name. That ain't her name.
Okay, good.
No, that ain't her name.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying the name in the figure of speech. That's not her name, though.
Okay, good.
I just said her
Thank
name.
you, Jesus.
And then when I did the secretary work, I went to work and I was clean as a whistle. And all the guys in the file room at UM Bank downtown was like, "We'll buy you lunch. We'll do this. We'll do that." The girl called the office and told the office that I was showing off my undergarment. So when I went to the office to pick my check up, they said, "Kay, what did you wear to work today?" And I was like, "What I have on now?" And she said, "Well, you look rather nice." And she said, "Well, we had a complaint that you were showing off your undergarment." I stood up and took my jacket off and modeled for the people. Like, I had on some real pretty pants, a real pretty sweater, but like you couldn't see through it. They didn't know what color nothing was underneath I had on because she couldn't even tell. So she was like, "Well, maybe they just kind of struck a jealousy strike." So when I told her that I had all these men trying to buy me lunch and breakfast all day, like, I don't know, but it taught them to come to work and dress better than what they was coming to work dressed. Just because you in the file room don't mean you got to dress like a file.
That's right. You set a standard. You set a standard over there. You set a standard.
That's what I did. And then they begged me to come back, and I was like, I refused to go back. Like, no, they did. Them people did a search. They was mad. KK come back because of who? They was upset. They was like, no, she said she's never coming back, and I never went back.
Good deal, Badger. What's on your heart, brother?
I'm just sitting here thinking, you know, how a lot of what we're talking about can be related to how the government works.
Hey man, what mine?
What's that? Like that in. He's sitting here. Watch this, Rico. He's sitting here admiring this Pittsburgh Steeler hoodie. You know, that's a Pittsburgh Steeler too. You know.
You act like I ain't got no gear.
Yeah, I know you got some. I know you guys got plenty. But you know, I got this one on today though.
I just asked you what mine was.
Yeah, we'll get you one. We got you. Toya with a T, talk to me.
Y'all ain't got nothing till y'all get a Chiefs jersey.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Who?
Thank you.
She ain't said nothing. She ain't said nothing. She playing.
Static in the line.
Chiefs.
No, good topic, y'all. I think the hair thing is code word for we don't want no Negroes working here because who else here grows like ours? That's the problem. Everybody here grow natural out their hair. It just don't go straight. So that always been code word for me. You don't want me being my true stuff. You want to try to continue to convert me to look like and be like you, which is okay. I went through that. When it comes to being held accountable, as a manager, it is my job to provide you with all the tools necessary to be successful. That means it is my job to inform you about the labor laws, what you can and can't do, and the company policies. And no, you do not have to sign a write-up, but you do have the right to where you can put your side of the story. You need to make a call to human resources, and they cannot fire you because what we'll get you with is insubordination, right? Because we really don't want you to prove your side. So your job is to say your side of the story and document it. And I would like to seek further counsel for human resources. Once you get on the human resources list, they can't be firing you for no reason because that would be retaliation at that point. They literally would have to go through the book and get you on the book, and you better get that book and learn it too. So, you know, everything we talked about here today is a wonderful thing, and the things we need to know, even down to taking breaks, even down to them making you work 10 hours with no break. Illegal. But do we operate that ourselves as managers in the store? No, we're so selfish at times. We want what we want. We'll make you come in. You can't call out. You got to come in. That's not right. Person has the right to call out.
Yeah.
However, you better be sick and you got to come in with a letter. So there's a lot of things that, especially in my industry, which is the food industry, they employ over 11 million people in that industry. They are uneducated. And they are getting done ways, getting fired different ways. People, I've been left jobs because they wanted me to steal their money, and they ain't making but $7.25. But you want your labor, so you want me to go adjust your the labor and change hours, and I'm not gonna do that. Here go your keys. You know, because inside the world, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're late. I can't hold you up for if you're not late. I can't tell you to wait to get on the clock. You know, if I'm late and you're on time and you at that store waiting, by law, I have to give you the time that you're supposed to be clocked in. It's not my fault that I'm late. If you come to work, you know, it's so much. If you go to work and they send you home, you got to get paid for 4 hours. So there's so many laws and things that are set up to protect not only employees, but even consumers when dealing with the United States, because it is another corporation with rules and regulations and policies that we need to know in order to get our due justice. But great conversation, great topic, you know, and I hope that, again, somebody that probably, well, we might not be having no problems because everything closed down, but I'm just saying in the event that someone should happen to have an issue, this should be a good subject.
Yeah.
And the 90-day probation thing is because when we do unemployment, they do it by quarters. So they needed to be on their 90 days at least. That way, if you make it past that point, you'll be eligible. You should be eligible if you make the right amount to collect unemployment if it's due to no fault of your own. But good conversation, y'all.
Good deal. Good deal. Now, Rico, we gonna talk about this, man, and naturally, disclaimer: we being funny right now. We being funny. We being comical. So I don't want anybody to take it serious. Send me no email. But a lot of time, Rico, when we take break, we forget about the clock, man. We do a 15-minute break, be 30 minutes, sometimes be almost an hour, and we still on break. We taking a break. Rico, why is that, bro?
Because that's our time. we operate that on a curve. You know what I'm saying? Like when we clock in, when they say you got to be there at 7 o'clock, we clocking in at 7 o'clock, not 6:59 and 58 seconds. We clocking in at 7 o'clock. We ain't trying to get a company no more time than they said we supposed to get them. But when you give me break, that's my time, and we're gonna operate that on a curve. You know that we're gonna round that up to the nearest whole number. With whatever working in our favor. I gotta make sure I get finished with my food or whatever it is, or with my cigarette. Exactly.
Now, Minister, what do you say about that, man? And we're being comical with this thing right here. But when we take a break, why we can't come back on time, man?
I don't know, bro. I really don't know. I can't tell you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's everybody.
Yeah.
It's everybody.
Break. Yeah. We take a break.
Managers, I don't know. I don't know if people just be tired of. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, honestly,
hey, we come to work looking for break time.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I said that, because I know there's been times I've been working in a place like how we work. We got different areas that we work in. So, say like if I'm over on one side sterilizing something, and I might have a group over here doing something totally different.
Okay.
Now, if I don't see that rush, like, because you can get wrapped up in what you're doing, and I've done that, and I've been like my supervisor came in the morning, he was like, "Oh, man, you know it's 9:30. Why you haven't gone on break yet?" And because time get past you because you engaged. And this particular day, he told me, he said, "Hey, but now when you see that crowd move, you move with them. Yeah, you move. Yeah. Because I was new, because you know, by me being in a new section and by me getting, you know what I'm saying, when you're on a new job like that, you really don't know the patterns.
Let's see.
And boy, when I tell you them jokers were moving,
but again, when the clock hit 15 hours,
bro, they look like a herd of cattle, bro. It was like somebody was putting them into a corral, and it's like, but that's why I say when they break, bro, they right, you right. When we break, we go, we out of here. I mean, I'm telling you. And I remember I asked the girl, I said, dog, y'all don't even knock on the window or nothing, say, hey, man, we finna go.
Yeah.
I'm back here. You
You better listen.
Yeah, right.
You better put your ears on, brother.
He told me that. He was like, man, you better start looking up and watch that crowd.
Exactly. But that's what it is. A lot of times when we take a break, Badger, we take a break. 15 minutes are gone by. I'll be back in a minute.
I very much stay to a schedule. If it says 15 minutes for a break, that's all I take.
Now, see, you're a good fella.
I'm with you, Badger.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, you're a good young lady. See, you're a good young lady.
I got promoted to the manager.
Yeah.
Do what I'm supposed to do.
There you go. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. But not all of us.
That's why we gotta probably get blessed.
Yeah.
We don't do what we
Hallelujah.
supposed to do. We do what
Hallelujah.
We
Praise you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. But I'm
you
gonna
got your blessing to keep your job when you violated the rule.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Now watch this here. Leonard, you there?
What's up, man? What's up?
Man, look here, man. You know, we being comical, so everybody hold your emails. Don't send no emails, no phone calls, and all that stuff. But Leonard, when we take a break.
Too late. Email already in your inbox. Check it out.
Exactly. Do we what is it? What's that, man? I ain't fooling with you. Oh Lord Jesus. Hold on. When they take a break, 15 minutes. 15 minutes, Leonard. 15 minutes.
Leonard do what he posted.
Do we come back on time? 15 minutes now. I keep saying 15 minutes for a reason.
I don't know what y'all do. I don't know what y'all do.
Well, what you do? Tell me what you do.
I'm always on time.
Oh Lord, gee, come on, Leonard. Now, look, you don't want to sleep over there in that corner. You don't want to sleep over there in that corner. Somebody wake you up and you're mad or they don't woke you up, and you're gonna talk about you be back on time. Come on, man.
No, because even if I'm gonna take a nap, I set my alarm so I'm on time.
Say that.
Even on my break, because that's how you get fired, not being on time.
No.
So I'm when I'm going to work, I'm going to work on time.
What had happened
and as a manager, when I don't want to go to work, I don't go to work.
What had happened was, I went out in my car and I laid my seat back. And I was gonna sit there for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes turned to 20 minutes. Now I'm supposed to be back in 15 minutes. I know I'm supposed to be back in 15 minutes. But man, it was just something about that seat. It wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me go, Rico. I see you smiling, Rico. It wouldn't let me go.
And you know what?
And I feel so energized now.
I'm gonna do for you.
I feel so energized right now. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to work now. I'm ready. Come on, what you got for me?
I know. And I know you're ready. And that's why I'm gonna give you this informal first. Don't let it happen again.
I don't need none of them. We got.
No, it ain't about what you need. It's about what I have to do.
We do things a certain way around here. See.
And that's the easy way to. That's the easy way to find out you're supposed to be an entrepreneur and working for yourself.
Exactly, Rico. Because really, I'm not concerned about why you're not here on time. I'm not.
Well, my
it's
thing
not
is,
my business.
Now let me ask you a question.
Whatever you were doing when you were off the clock is not my business.
Now, hold on. Now we do things a certain way around here, man. Now look here. Either you with me or you're against me. Now, which one is it? Now, I mean, I told you what happened.
I'm probably not with you.
I ain't got no business standing here talking to you, man. I got to go. I'm going to work, man. I don't want that paper.
Yeah, go ahead, back. But do know that this is an informal as of January the 7th.
And that's yesterday, man.
At 8:54.
Yeah.
8:54. January 8th.
No. January 7th. Put January 7th on that paper. Put January 7th on that paper. Yeah, that's the day is the 7th. Yeah, that's what it is. The day is the 7th.
No, this is my informal warrant. This is my informal warrant.
Oh, okay.
This isn't my formal because according to company policy and the union agreement, I'm going to give you an informal. First of all, is there anything that I can do?
How long to stay in my file?
Be at work on time.
How long to stay in my file?
Come on.
Yeah.
It's stay a year.
Yeah, should be a year.
They stay in my file for a year.
However long it stays there, it's not the issue.
It's a year.
Nah,
you can take that up with your union representative.
See, the way y'all play the game ain't right, man. Y'all don't recognize the game. So y'all trying to get too tricky with this stuff. So y'all trying to get you. It sounds as though y'all trying to get rid of me. It sounds like y'all trying to get rid of me.
You don't get to come here and do what you want to do.
I want to work. That's why you're holding me up from working right now. I want to work.
Operating in excellence. That's what it's called.
See,
Thank
see,
you.
most of my workplaces, I wish I had managers like you guys.
Exactly. If Badger say some of the workplaces he worked in, he wish he had some managers like y'all. But see, back
A lot of people do.
Back in the day,
So
ain't
you're
want no
gonna
manager
love
like that.
me, and I got your back. But you're gonna know the law, and I'm gonna give you the tools to be successful. So when you leave me, you know better. So you need to do better. And if you don't, when you get fired, it's not because you didn't know. Because I'm gonna make sure you're on your game. When you leave me, you're gonna leave for two reasons. I got on your nerves because I'm gonna teach you what you need to know in this field, or you just didn't want to abide by rules and regulations. Because I'm one of the managers. I told you to clock out 10 minutes after I told you to clock out. I'm going to check and see if you clocked out. Don't do it. I'm getting you up out of there.
Yes, ma'am.
Donald Toussaint, talk to me, brother. What this don't sound like a good place to work here, man. This don't sound like a place that you don't.
Well, here's the deal. The job got to get done. You got a good manager. You have a good manager who's going to look out for you and the job.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
So we're gonna have gonna have the first conversation to make you to help you keep your job.
Now I can understand how you're gonna try to look out for me and the job at the same time. If you're saying I'm not doing my job,
you can. You can have the worst type of worker and develop him into a good worker.
Right.
Especially when you came up the ranks. You can do it. Okay, sir. The company allows you a 15-minute break. You had a 15-minute break.
Can we renegotiate
and
that?
Now
can we negotiate that 15 minutes?
Now you're taking a smoke break.
Can we negotiate that 15 minutes, make it at least 20? Can we negotiate that?
We having this is the negotiation conversation right now. We're having it. We're having it right now. We're having the conversation. We're talking about it right now. Let's talk about it.
But I want 20. I gotta have at least 20 minutes, man. It take me 3 minutes to walk to my car.
Okay, sir. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Let me explain to you what's really going on. Okay. Now, after I explain to you, you make your decision, and we'll go from there. And let's see how that works out for you.
See, my thing is, it take me 3 minutes to walk to my car, so naturally it's gonna take me 3 minutes to walk back to my car. Then there's probably some people standing around the clock trying to clock in at a certain time, so that's gonna hold me up too. And so all my little 15 minutes is gone, man. Y'all gotta work. Y'all gotta do something better than that.
Sir, you keep doing what you're doing. If that's the way you feel, and let's see how that works out for you.
Let's see how it works out for you.
Let me go to Kay.
You need a job sooner or later.
You need to go through this with your clock. Just like you want your check to be on time, Mr. Azame, it's the same way we want you to be on the clock on time, Mr. Azame. If you're not on time, you're gonna throw everything off, and this is what we need in order to do this successfully and get out of here on time as a whole. Thank you very much. Now, when you cool with your check being late, then we'll stop saying something to you about being on time.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. And Kay, I know you're one of the managers over here. I want to talk to you about something too, Kay. I'm glad we're having this conversation right now because I came in this when I came to work this morning, I really wasn't feeling too good. So I think it's time for me to go home. I'm gonna go home and take the rest of the day off, and I'll be back tomorrow.
Absolutely. Are you
get some
sick?
medicine.
Are you coughing?
Yeah,
I'm
not feeling.
Sound like Corona. Please go ahead. Clock out. Do you need help to the door? Y'all get the sanitizer. He's finna go ahead out the door. He said he don't feel good today. Y'all get the sanitizer.
Yeah, I'm going home. Oh. Yeah, I'm not feeling good.
And bring a doctor's note when you come back tomorrow about your sickness, please.
Oh, okay. Well, I ain't got y'all ain't paying me enough money to go to the doctor, and so I ain't got time to go to the doctor. I'm gonna go home and self-medicate myself. Hopefully, I'll feel better. I'll feel better tomorrow.
Hours, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not even giving you no advice.
Okay. Don't bring home a list from your mama. Please don't bring a note home from mom.
Be like, welcome back, Carter. Hey, Kay, what's on your heart?
It's mandatory that you go to the doctor and bring a doctor's excuse. I don't care where you work at.
Well,
I don't care unless you work for yourself and you own a company.
It depends on how long. It depends on how whether you abuse it. Sometimes it depends on whether you abuse it, huh?
You have to be out 3 days.
It depends,
3 days.
but
Three
still,
separate days.
you require because somebody else, like they did this one girl, she's like, I need a doctor's excuse because everybody's saying, why come I got to go in? I don't have to have no doctor's excuse. I had to go get a doctor's excuse because somebody somewhere is paying attention to make sure you get the same treatment they get. Believe that. And I have always go to work, and I used to always be late, literally. And they used to be like, Kay's coming. And I used to tell them, I got 5 kids to get dressed in the morning. Something always come up. I used to go to work and tell them, I got 5 kids at home by themselves.
Yeah.
If I get a phone call, it's from my kids. I can't get on the phone and talk to the oldest one. I got to talk to all 5 of them. When I tell y'all they said I had special privileges, it wasn't special privileges. I went to the church nurse. I went to the DON. I went to all my authority people and told them that I'm a single mother with 5 kids and they're at home by themselves. And they will call me and I will talk to all 5 of them. Other than that, I can go get another job because I was looking for one when I came here. And I ain't got to tell nobody I ever worked for y'all.
See now you can't keep you can't keep them people job hostage. Now it sounds like you're trying to keep them people job hostage. You can't keep them people.
I didn't. I just went to work and told them my lifestyle, and they hired me. I told them this. So don't hire me if it's gonna be a problem, or you got Sandy, Sue, and Boo talking about, well, I need to talk to my kids out of nowhere. All because Kay came in with that. I didn't get to work and then say, well, I'm talking to my kid. No, I went in and they accepted me as an employee with those issues because my kids was first. And if I couldn't talk to my kids or check on my kids, then I need to go do something else.
Good deal. Good deal. Right. Goddess, what's on your heart, sis?
I'm just thinking a couple of things. I don't know if people are actually knowing that, and maybe Toya, you can let me know, and some others, about being employed by a corporation where you're not hourly, but you're salary, and you are expected to be salary and be at work from set hours.
Say
That's
that
my life.
Say that again now. Give me that one more time.
That you're
talking about
not
in the time. So as a manager, it's just like any other employee when you accept that position, you know. So like for me in food, most jobs are 50 hours to 55 hours a week. Okay. That's my cutoff. I don't get paid once that's salary, they don't pay me any extra overtime if I work 65 hours. Okay. So once you make the conscious decision to accept that job, and I'm using like I tell my employees, you decided to accept it for $7.25. That has nothing to do with me. Once you have other guidelines that you have to fulfill and you feel like it's more worth more money, it has nothing to do with me. Now we got to sit down and negotiate price again. And once you're hired, it's only up to
the application that I sent you.
Out the door. I could have gave you more. So they're going to expect you to work
that's it.
Whatever hours they give you under that pretense, but they also are going to expect for you, as if you're a manager that's getting paid salary, they're going to expect for you to fulfill your duties. I was at Steak and Shake. I worked a 36-hour shift on top of my 50 hours. That's why I left. Because they're going to expect you, especially as the general manager, to get it done. They don't care. They didn't care that I was on 36 hours, getting ready to work another day. So when it comes to salary, it's a trick in the setup. I would never suggest anybody to take salary. I will always tell people to get by the hour because this is how we manipulate you into getting more time for less money. I think when I broke it down, I was making like $5.85 an hour. So my employees could never come to me about a raise because when I broke it down with the time that I did, the hours that I worked, and then y'all need extra stuff, y'all get free food. I'm very lenient. And like Kay said, if you got an issue, you know you're not supposed to have talks on the phone. Come to me and say, Miss Toya, that's my kids on the phone. I got to talk. I'm going to cover your spot. You know what I'm saying? So the corporations, when they come to salaries, that is never in our best interest unless you're 21, 22, you know, you getting a mandatory $600 a week. It's cool. But when we start getting up in the ranks, I would never suggest salary because that's where we're going to get you at. And we get you with that being the intent and the purpose.
Good deal.
Good deal. It wasn't even good. It wasn't even good when I was 21 and I did salary and I accepted a job at a nursing home as an activity director on salary. And I was 21 years old with kids and it was not happening for me. I was like, you mean to tell me I got to be here? I got to do this. I got to do that. And I was like, and I don't get no extra, I don't get no overtime, I don't get nothing. I said, they want me to do this and call me in and say, well, Kay, we need you to do this, but such didn't come in. But because I was over the department, I had to come in.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice. I couldn't say no, get somebody else, because I was over the department. I let that go, and I never did salary again in my life.
Well, I wanted to hear everybody. I wanted to hear different points of view about that. Is because of the fact that as a freight broker, I came, like, my shift started at 8. I always came in at like 6 o'clock so I could hit my East Coast. And I would leave late so I can hit my West Coast. So I always did more. I always had more of my hours in before Thursday even came. So if I chose that I wanted to take off or whatever, I got to a situation where I got sick, and it was like, well, you can't take off and go to work, go to your doctor's. Well, hell, I already did my 40 hours Thursday. Well,
see,
I ended up having to sue them, and they ended up getting a class action lawsuit regarding it.
If you're on salary, that's how they slave you right there. If you're on salary, that's how they slave you.
And it was a rude awakening. That's why I wanted to hear another person's point of view about it.
They were supposed to let her get her time off, especially if she made over her 90 days. When it comes to different specific appointments, getting off time, the point is, when you go in there on your own, they consider that unapproved or unauthorized time. So you just doing that because you want to. But when it comes to you working their actual salary, you have to put a request in order to get paid for that day, because there's a certain amount of time you got to work before they're not supposed to touch it. But it's a fight and a battle, because you got to keep in mind, whoever is over you, they are money hungry. So they're watching you to get every dollar anyway. But this is where you got to come back and say, hey, I know that salary says this, that, and the third, but Georgia state law or whoever state law says, as a manager, I am also entitled to whatever sick days or off days or, whatever collectively on a federal level. And that's what you have to use. If not, human resources need to be the phone call if they have a human resources. If not, EEOC, because if you have put in your time and you have made that 40 hours, regardless of the over, they are by law required to allow you to get whatever day you asked stuff off, but you got to have whatever paperwork they require you to have. But they should have let you off. They just didn't, because they were turds and they were probably men, because they used to do it to me all the time.
Oh, Lord, wait, hold on. Wait. No, see, we ain't gonna do the man woman thing. Hold on. Everybody. Hold on.
Y'all just gonna be like, Toya, no, take it up today. Sorry.
Toya, hold on. I got a transition. Hold on. Goddess, I got a transition. Let me see. You can also call in if you want to. Badger, you can also call in. But look, I gotta play something real quick. I want everybody to tune their listening eyes. I want you to tune your listening eyes to the screen. And if anybody is a vendor out there, this is something for you. So lend your listening eyes to the screen. I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna come back with a tad bit different topic. Y'all check this out. All right. So vendors, if there's any vendors out there in or around the Atlanta area, if there's any vendors in and around the Atlanta area, you need to get in contact with us. We got something very unique for you, something very unique that's definitely going to benefit you. So vendors, we're calling out all your vendors. We're calling them out. Get in contact with us. We got something very special for you. Follow the instructions on the video I just played for you, and we'll take it from there. Now, let's talk too. That we're talking business. Let's talk about business. How we want to change this thing up. Minister Neil, what's on your heart right now?
I'm off.
Okay. Y'all started talking about the salary situation.
Let's talk about why we always got to ask for a discount. I want to know that. That's the question I want to know. How come when I open up my business, you want a discount, but you go to Victoria's Secret and you'll pay them $16?
But see, the thing about it is in other countries, here in America, it's like that. But in other countries, people they go in there and they negotiate. They'll go in the store and they'll negotiate. Now, I'm not gonna pay you that much for that. This is what it is. See here.
They can do that in New York.
Oh yeah, they do. But a lot of times here, we go in there, whatever we see on that tag is what we're gonna pay. If we see it on that tag, Rico, if it say $95.50 or $95.75, Rico, we're gonna pay them $95.75. We don't negotiate. In some situations, we can get a discount. We can't say, look here, I like this product, blah blah blah, but I'm not willing to pay you that much. This is what I'm gonna pay you for it if you want to sell it to me. Rico, what do you say to that?
Well, this is another one of the situations where, just like with the break room thing, in general, we tend, because I'm like them, I don't do that coming off break late thing, you know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't want nobody to do me the same way in case they had to relieve me. And I know it can get you fired, but I got the same concept. I noticed that we have a tendency to always want to come to each other and ask for a discount or look out for me or front me or whatever. But then when you go to Walmart or you go to Firestone to buy those tires, or you know what I'm saying, you go to dealers to get those Levi's or that Polo, you got to wait till they decide to put it on sale. They ain't gonna sit back and say, hey man, give me about $15 on this. Hey, I give you this much right now and I give you the other part later. Now you might better do a little layaway. That's a decision you can make, but the company ain't gonna negotiate. They gonna put in place what they can do to help you in case you can't come get everything at one time. But when it comes to this salary thing and business, man, if anybody young was listening to the last segment, they would probably be confused and intimidated of what to expect coming into the workforce at 15 or something like that. They'd be intimidated unless they were well prepared, because we put a lot out there, but really and truly, the most important thing, I think, for all this whole topic that we're going to have when it comes to talking about business and people being employees and general company rules, we got to realize that this system that we're dealing with, this industrial and capitalism system, is built on numbers and profit. And the further down the totem pole you are, the smaller your numbers, the value of your numbers are. You're more expendable then. All of us are expendable until you get to the 1% of the top. So now let's go to McDonald's or like LaToya selling the lingerie, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody has a McDonald's franchise they want to open. They might not be working for the exact corporation, but they might have a franchise, a Verizon franchise, Wendy's franchise. They got that corporate mindset. They thinking about their bottom line. They thinking about them numbers. And you, Mr. Such and Such, Mrs. Such and Such, you just a number. They don't care what your name is. You just a number that they got to pay that goes on to their accounting, and they budget or whatever numbers they need to keep up with, so they'll know at the end of the fiscal quarter, a year, what they spent out and what they bought in. Accounts receivable and accounts debits, turnover, all that. That's what we are now. You know what I'm saying? We are the rats of the community study. And once you get the supervisor, you take on another level of a mindset in that system. Once you get the franchise manager, you're a franchise manager, but you still up under Rallies or McDonald's or Captain D's or whoever. And you still a number. You just got an opportunity, Mr. American Deli franchise owner, to still be one little small part of this bigger picture, but you're still a number. So I think, if we are going to give information to people and try to, I'm going to say, prepare them for what they expect, the biggest thing is sort of getting down to the grassroots of what they need to understand, so they can understand when they go into this situation and they sign this contract or this agreement to trade their services with this company, or to cooperate in making this company work together, that you still make sure you look out for yourself. Don't dedicate yourself to this company. You just a number in it.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
I was answering the question or the statement that the person that I know on the Twitch saying that he's got one of the worst states to work in because they can fire for no reason and tell you we no longer need you. But based on most of what he's saying is actually accurate, but depending on if it goes against something that's a federal law, you can hold them accountable if you can prove it.
And see, and that's the thing right there. How do you prove it? How do you prove that they're targeting you? In the court, in the whole scheme of things, if they've done their due diligence, if you will.
Documentation, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and documented everything. But you know,
but you have to document as well.
You
have to document as well. I mean, you have to document as well. And I mean, because I've seen certain instances where, I mean, case in point, everybody know what kind of work I do.
Yeah,
and there's not a lot of us in that field.
Yes.
So it's been times where it's been the tables have been unbalanced. So I want to say, and I think, but people have documented certain things and they have brought it to the upper management. Once you expose that, a lot of times they have peeled back to a point that they're at like it's no big deal. But at the same token, they have to once it's been known that this company have these kind of practices, it goes to another level.
Okay.
And once that happens, and I'm saying this because I just had a young lady who had an issue with upper management, and it was something that was I don't know if it was more racial motivated or was it something that it was more of two women clashing.
Okay. Which happens all the time.
Right. And I'm saying two women clashing because she was strong-minded young lady. And I can honestly say that with her, she really and truly didn't have a argument, but she did have argument because, in other words, what I'm saying, stuff that probably bothered her wouldn't bother me. So I can't say that it really wasn't an argument on her behalf.
Was she being petty? It sounded like she was being a little petty.
I can't say that because again,
because I got that from when you said on what bothered her probably wouldn't bother you.
Because my tolerance level is a little higher than a lot of people.
Okay.
Because I've dealt in this situation before where they said, "Well, go get Odell," and I know for a fact that people thought I was white when they looked at my resume.
Okay.
Literally, I'm talking about they thought I was white. Because the lady asked me, and one of the biggest things that was offensive to me was that one lady said, "Well, where is FAMU? I never heard of it." That's offensive to me. You know how proud I am to know that I graduated from Florida A&M. That was offensive to me.
Yeah. Did you tell her?
I didn't tell her. I just looked at her and smiled. This is what this is why I say that's the tolerance level. See, for me, I smiled. I said, "Well, I say, FAMU have turned out some great scientists, and I'm one of them."
Wow.
That's what good. I said.
And that's almost like that question that
that's
was
why I said subtle. But for her, she went to Howard.
And
I
she should have known.
I know she would have took off.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say we have to be. For me, it's all about the tolerance level as well. I mean, I hear we talking and we saying all these things, but it's sometimes with me, I guess because my thing is that I look at certain situations. I'm like, what is this person real issue? Is it really with me? Or are you offended? Because I tell people, I says, and like the guy, Marcus, got a master's.
Yeah.
His supervisor's got a bachelor's.
Wow. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? So you see the unbalance there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that's the supervisor whose credentials are less than his.
A lot of times now, see the thing about it, a lot of times too, and we all have seen this happen. Somebody could come into the workplace and you can actually be training your boss.
Right.
You could train your boss.
Or I can give a prime example. There's been times when I can show you text messages right now since I've left my last job. They have texted me about situations.
Okay. things is going on. Yeah.
Right. Well, this machine didn't do this and do this.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we do a lot of testing. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
telling you when I was showing you about that lab, I would say we do those prisms
Mm-hmm.
and we test the blood.
Exactly.
And we slide those sleeves in.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a trick I had, but I wasn't supposed to do it, but it worked for me.
Yeah.
I knew how to override it.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I used to read the system.
Mm-hmm.
I literally used to sit back and read the manuals because I got tired of waiting on the technician to come in.
Yeah.
And sometimes he might, if he got, he also serviced Georgia Tech because they had some same kind of prism system, testing systems that we had.
Okay.
So he might be in Atlanta. So granted, he coming from Atlanta all the way to Social to Georgia. Right. He might be half of the day.
That's one of the good breaks I was telling you about. See,
right.
That's one of the
good
good
the thing
breaks.
about it, we used to sit there for 4-5 hours.
Woo.
I'm talking about people who used to break out books or
y'all want to play some spades? Y'all want to play some spades?
Hey, bro, I wish I had some at the time.
Exactly. Y'all want to play some spades?
So I'm telling you, so it happens. Those kind of things happen. Like now, I'm like, man, it's crazy. But I've got texts where they were like, hey, man, what did you do when this happened? I might text them back, hey, man, I just got your message, but you do such and such, such and such, such and such.
Exactly. Let me go to my phone line, see what we got going on my phone lines here. Donald Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? Donald Toussaint.
Yeah. Just be a good if you're in the workforce, just be a good employee. That'll take care of yourself. That'll take care of you. Just be a good employee.
And see, and that you open up something when you said that. You open up something when you said it because somebody said something earlier about Rico. He said like when you're 15 years old, going into the workplace, it could be very intimidating, and they could be intimidated by all the stuff that we put out there just now. But at 15 years old, your first job, how do you know how to be a good employee? I know as time go on, you learn it. But going in, how does one know to be a good employee or how to be a good employee?
Find out what's required. What do you want you to do? Find out as much as you possibly can to learn the job. Just learn the job. Ask questions. If you don't know something, before you do it, ask questions. Don't just jump out and do it because we got to get this done quick. Okay. If it's done quick, is it done right? So make sure you know what you're doing. Because maybe the supervisors are scared. They got a bunch of them.
You can't.
But you keep his job if you do your job.
Yeah. Exactly. Rico, you asked a question about earlier. The 15-year-old. How does one know, Rico, how to be a good employee? Going in, it's their first job. They've never worked anywhere before. How do they know how to be a good employee?
You try to be somewhat prepared, but that ain't a choice that you have. That comes from your home training. Maybe, hopefully you had some type of mentor, your parents or somebody that could give you some kind of guidance to prepare you. It's a such thing is called as work ethic. Knowing how to make an effort, being raised to move and do things that need to be done and not just because you want to do them. To have some kind of gift to temper yourself and not to be impulsive, because you could go to a job and just think, you know what, man, I know this is what needs to be done, but what I want to do is take me 2 extra minutes on break. Understand repercussions. Consequences. If you go into the workforce and you ain't never had no consequences from your parents, you've been spoiled, you're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch it. If you've been sheltered and don't know how to handle discipline, or be checked, told what to do or told when you're wrong and you can't handle it wrong, you ain't gonna do good on the job. Because guess what? These people on this job are individuals that come from all kind of aspects of life that are trying to function in this job the way they see best fit, based on how they were brought up. So when some of them being buttholes, they're going to be a little different than this next butthole supervisor. That's why you might have one shift, all the same people might have 4 different supervisors in a year, and each one of them supervisors get different results from that shift because they treat them people different. But as the person is coming in, as the employee, the 15-year-old coming into this situation, you got to learn not to be gullible, how to have some kind of logic, and to have some kind of work ethic or drive, some purpose, and know what a goal is. Have some pride about yourself. See, because me, I already knew, and I'm still this way to this day. Whatever I associate myself with, I put my time and effort to, and my name can be tied to it. It needs to be close to perfect as possible. You need to be able to depend on it if I'm going to co-sign on it. If you're a friend or somebody that I know of and I'm going to tell people something, a good quality about you, if you're a company and I'm going to say you're a good company and I endorse you, or I put my efforts in towards you to be a benefit. Like right now, no matter where you go across the United States, look outside at a fire hydrant and you're going to see M&A's valve 9 times out of 10. You're going to see M&A's valve, Anderson, Alabama. Everywhere I go, I look for those fire hydrants and I think to myself, you know what? I probably was a part of that. I probably made this fire hydrant right here. Oh, wait, Seattle, Washington, and look at this. I might have made this fire hydrant. That's pride. That's being a part of something. You know, so you know that all that is important in being able to go into a workplace and then being able to hold your own, because some of those people are gonna be in there to manipulate you.
Yeah.
Some of them gonna be in there to fire you because they don't like the way you look and you intimidate and you remind them of somebody in their personal life. So it's so many different situations that you got to prepare a 15-year-old for, and some things you can't. But if you got them prepared in the right way, they can handle it the right way. Like what Mr. Neal was saying a second ago about having thick skin. What was the word he used? Not having thick skin. There was another word he used. What's the word about?
I don't.
He don't remember. He old, man. He can't remember.
When he was saying that about the woman having a problem and she might not have been petty, but you know
certain thing. I mean, what bother you might not bother me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You know. So I mean, it's all about preparing a young person, man, or anybody. I mean, you know, some people, grown people can't handle that situation because they just wasn't brought up to have the right kind of goals or work ethics about themselves.
Exactly. Badger, let me come to you. A 15-year-old.
Man.
How do they establish? How do they know in their first job? Now, we're not talking about after they had 2 or 3 jobs. How do they know what is good work ethics and how to be a good employee?
Well, from my own experience, I grew up with a work ethic. So, but looking at, like, if I go from back then and how a lot of people that were that age, you know, when I was 15, you know, that's literally been over 15 years to the way it is now. You know, a lot of these younger kids, you know, I ask them, you know, I'm like, why don't you work harder? And they're like, well, they're not paying me enough, or they feel like they're privileged, and that's across the board. So it's another one of those things where I struggle with it because I don't understand how a person can't have a work ethic else. And the only thing that I can logically think of is it's how they were raised.
That's true.
I ask you a question.
Yeah.
I ask you a question. I'm sorry. How I hear y'all keep saying about how somebody was raised. Why is it just that it can't just be this? It can just be that person.
Lazy.
Right. Why can't it just be that person? Because sometimes we'll put too much emphasis on how they're raised, and sometimes that's just you.
Yeah.
Period. That's just you.
Train the child in the way that they should go most of the time, and
they will
hopefully
not part away from it. But
yeah.
my thing is that sometimes that's just you. You develop. I give you a prime example. I know people that big example. My biggest pet peeve is that when people enter a room, they don't address the room.
Yeah.
That's a pet peeve of mine because I think that's very disrespectful. It's not so much of how they rate. That's just you.
Yeah.
You just got a bad disposition. That's just you.
Just a bad
person. Sometimes your parents could be the sweetest gold, and they can give you the world.
Yeah.
But that's just you. That's just you. Sometimes we have to look at the individual and start checking inventory on ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why the Bible is so important when we talk about the Bible. In the same way, we have to understand something. It's a self-examination. Sometimes I'm not gonna sit here and say my child was bad and I gave him everything I could in the world to make him to succeed. But I'm gonna say, oh, it's because how he was raised. No, I'm not gonna. No, that's not always the case. I've been plenty of parents.
Well, and see,
it don't add up.
The thing that I want people to hear when you're saying, you're not saying in every situation. You know, in some cases, it is.
It's bad people.
Yeah.
Period. They're just bad people.
Yeah.
You just bad people. That's why the Bible said, "Get out was holy to the dogs and cast out pearls out to the swine." Some folk you just can't. They just bad folk. They are just bad people. Period.
Okay, got you. Let's pull some more people into the conversation. Toya with a T. Toya, you get a new employee. You're working. You're the manager. You get a new employee, and you watch them for a couple of days, week or so, and you realize they don't have the best work ethics. They're borderline lazy. How do you do? Because I heard you say that I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna work with you. I heard you say that a couple of times, even during this conversation right here. How do you get that person to recognize? Hold on, you need to do better. This is what you need to do. How do you instill that into that 15-year-old? Toya probably got her phone muted. Oh, we lost her. Oh Lord, we lost her. Let's go to Goddess. Goddess, answer that. Hopefully we'll be able to get Toya back in a second. How do you instill something into a 15-year-old work ethics?
Basically, it's if you do it.
I'm gonna come back to you, Toya. Go ahead, Goddess.
If you start off as a young child giving them chores, I think it starts off as a young child giving them chores. And when you start giving them chores, you start giving them, I know for me, that's how my parents always did me. And that's how I did my children.
No. We'll pass that. You're the manager on the job now. This is not your children. These are somebody that's coming to work for you.
But you asked me, how do I start them off and get them in and as a 15-year-old? So when they get to a job,
let me say this. Let me say the secret, because I see where you're going, and I love where you're going, but that's not what I asked you. I say if you're the manager on this particular job, you're the manager. Say you're the manager at Chick-fil-A. You're the manager at Chick-fil-A, and somebody hired this 15-year-old, and as the manager, you're working with this 15-year-old. It's not your child. You're working with them, and you see that they don't have real good work ethics, and they're borderline lazy. Now you have just met this person at 15. What do you do to help them, or what do you do? How do you handle that situation?
Well, let me just say this. If I could, as a mother, any child that's 15 years old, I'm going to still be a boss, but I'm also still going to always present that motherhood style to them, because they are a child. So with that being said, I'm going to make sure I go over them. Now you understand that you must be here by this certain time. And again, back to what LaToya said, if you want to get paid on time, you must be on time. If you do not want to lose your job, it becomes repetitive. You begin to continue to be repetitive to make sure that they're getting it and they're understanding it. And then again, it goes back to some people are just not good workers.
Thank you.
Wow.
Or you have to look at it at a 15-year-old because you don't know what their lifestyle is at home. You don't know what they're going through at home. So it might not be all their fault, because at 15 years old, they're dependent on their parents to take them back and forth to work. So you have to look at that as being a supervisor as well. And you have to understand and talk to them and have an open communication to see what you can do to help and to assist as an adult, because it's our job as community to raise our community. That's why
there's so many different ways I could take what you just said and I could run with it, but we only got a few more minutes before we get out here, so I'm going to include a few more people in this. But I love what you said. Badger, what do you say to that? What do you do to that 15-year-old?
I'm going to do the best I can to lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like what Goddess is saying. I
Mhm.
usually come from a peaceful mentality, but I also do my best to lead by example.
Mhm.
I have a very hard work ethic.
Mhm.
I'm very just straightforward. I stick to a schedule, and I just
I've
work
seen
hard.
I've seen some situations, and I've seen this myself, where somebody in working as a young teenager. I don't know how old they are. Young teenager in that somebody's working real hard, and the teenager's just kind of sitting around, lackadaisical, just ain't really doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that in a lot of mainly a lot of restaurants. They're sitting around, they ain't doing nothing. So
Some of it's
Badger,
self
what
motivation,
do you
though.
do, huh?
Some of it's self motivation, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely,
Self.
absolutely. So Badger,
I go and talk to them.
mm-hmm,
I try to find out why they think what they're doing is acceptable. And
mm-hmm,
99% of the time, they learned it from either their parents, family, or community.
mm-hmm.
And then when you start trying to teach them that depending on what their personal choices are,
Mm-hmm.
because apparently nobody else has taught them that they have this personal choice to either continue a bad habit or to be an example in this way of life. So I do agree with, I don't know what his name is, as far as the personal choices go.
Mm-hmm.
And some people can innately all by themselves do it. You also have to consider the folks that need help. They need that push.
Right.
Exactly, exactly. Leonard, you there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna change gears, but just
Hello.
for I'm gonna change gears, but just for a second. Something just came across my feed, here on Facebook, and it says history was made today. The first black Cobb County Councilwoman, Lisa Natasha, what's that? Cupid, was sworn in today. What you know about that?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Gerald may know it because he actually lives in Cobb County.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, say she's the first black Cobb County councilwoman, chairwoman. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's the chair of the council now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's chairwoman. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes, I
Yeah.
didn't know about that. But Leonard, what do you do with this 15-year-old man? You on your job, you're working, they come in there, you don't know this person from a can of paint. And you realize that they don't have real good work ethics. They borderline lazy, they ain't really doing too much of nothing. How do you get them into shape, or do you just get rid of them? What do you do?
Did I hire him?
No.
Okay. So one, I try to work with them. I try to do whatever it is that everybody else is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at their age as being an issue. They were hired to do a job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not your mother and I'm not your father. This is what you need to do. As long as you do this, there'll be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you won't be. If there is a problem, you won't be here.
Yeah.
Being fired should teach you how to do what you're supposed to do.
Or it would allow you to go to another job and continue to do the same thing until somebody break that cycle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. But you understand that you will be fired if you don't work here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's true.
Because everybody hired is expected to do a certain thing.
Yeah. And I got a story for y'all, man. I'm gonna give y'all the quick. I'm gonna give y'all the quick version. I'm gonna give y'all the quick version, and then after that, I'm going to Cake. I know Cake got something on her heart right now. I might have told this story before. My first job.
I'm sorry, you did. You ain't got to tell.
No, don't tell again.
No, you did.
Okay, I'll just give you the quick version.
You did.
My first job was McDonald's. That was my first job where they actually took out taxes and stuff like that. I worked, I did other little things, but I worked there, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had to be in the history of McDonald's. In the history of McDonald's, I had to be the sorriest employee they ever hired. Hey, man, look, ain't number one truth. I'm gonna tell it. I had to be the sorriest employee. I had a general manager. I don't know if he's still living or not now today, and I'll go back and I'll thank this young man. Carl Martin was his name, Greensboro, North Carolina, over there on Summit Avenue. He had 3 managers that was up under him, and all 3 of them wanted to fire me. They wanted to get rid of me, man. They wanted to fire me. Carl Martin brought me in the office one day. He said, "Let me tell you something, man." He talked like that. "Let me tell you something, man." He said, all my managers told me to fire you. I'm not gonna fire you. I ain't gonna fire you. He told me, he said, "I'm not gonna fire you, man." He said, I'm either I'm gonna make you or I'm gonna break you, but I'm not gonna fire you. He said, "So either you go out there and work and do what you're supposed to do, or I'm gonna break you." He said, "But I'm not gonna fire you." He said, "So if you're trying to get fired, I'm not gonna fire you. Take it out your head." Russ was one of the managers that was there. Russ hated me. He hated me, hated working with me. I was slow. Man, listen. Russ left the store. He left the store, went and transferred to another store. He didn't want to work with me. Came back. It had to be about 3-4 months later. Somehow Russ transferred back to the store that we were at over there on Summit Avenue. And I had to work that night. And Russ saw me. He saw me back there in the grill area. He shook his head. And, oh, Lord Jesus. We had a bus. Minister, we had a bus. You know how that is. A bus pulled up, man, full of people. And he's like, oh, Lord, we in trouble. He started calling out orders. Man. And I was back in the order. I got it. Martin, he had made me. And I was working, got everything done, and looked up one time, the lobby was full of people. Looked up next time, everybody was sitting down, and everything was done. And Russ came back, and that's when he told me, he said, man, I hated working with you, man. He said, I hated working with you, man. I would have quit instead of working with you. And he said, I don't know what happened or what they did to you. He said, but I'll work with you any day of the week. Now he said, as a matter of fact, I want you on my schedule. He said, when I saw that bus coming up there and I saw you was back here, I knew we was in trouble. I thought we was in trouble. But something went off. Something clicked. And Martin, I called Martin, didn't give up on me. And he gave me the opportunity to get it right. So sometimes, how do you know, though? How does an individual, K, know when to invest that into a 15-year-old and when they're just not going to pan out? How do you know? Because Martin knew. I don't know how he knew, but he knew.
Head. It was that big head.
Yeah, big head. It might have been what it was. Yeah. He said something in that head.
He said that boy can retain something. He can retain it.
So okay, what do you say? How do you know when to invest into the individual and when to let it and do something different?
You said, how do I know what?
How do you know when to invest? Like what Martin did with me. He invested the time, and he said, look here, I'm gonna do one or two things. I'm gonna make you, I'm gonna break you. How does one know? How do you know when it's the right thing to do and to invest that time into that individual?
By their interest and their motivation. And sometimes people have an interest and a motivation and just need to be pushed. They got it in them. They just need to be pushed. Somebody just need to believe in them one time. But you could feel it. They show it. A person that don't show no type of interest, don't even waste your time. They don't even have an interest in what they're doing. So,
wow.
I'm not gonna waste my time. You don't even have an interest. But if you show a little bit of interest, just a little, I can push you. It'll be a lot when I get through it.
Yeah.
Just a little. It takes a little though.
A little bit of effort. Exactly. Toya, with the T, talk to me. How do you know? And what do you do? Because you got something happened with the line the last time. How do you know, Toya, when to invest in that person? And what do you do?
I love the kids. Most people don't want to deal with 15-year-olds, but for a job where I go to, I want the 15-year-olds because I get to show them their first experience. If I didn't hire them, because see, when I hire you, I'm gonna work you. I'm gonna ask you to do 3 things: get me the mission statement, tell me what's on my menu, and give me 5 items off the head. And when you come back and see me, that's gonna let me know how much you care. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm just walking in the door and I don't know who you are, I'm going to ask you, do you know the expectation? Do you know you're supposed to be to work on time? Do you know this, that, and the third? Are you cool with that? First of all, we got to make sure either you know, if you don't know, or you don't care. And a lot of these kids don't know. It's not that they don't care. There's no standard. When I work as a manager, like I said before, I let you know that, first of all, God is the one that got you this job. You did not do anything on your own. And second of all, if we're going to do something, we're going to be the best of the best. They're not going to come in our neighborhoods talking about, oh, it's the best, it's the worst this, it's the worst that. No. If you cannot operate by them standards, whether you're 15 or 55, we're going to have a problem. Once you understand that part, then we're moving forward. If you're late, I'm going to let you know, hey, baby, this is your first job. When I get done with you, I'm going to teach you everything I know, and you're never working fast food again when I work with you. If you do, you're going to be a manager. However, the standard about customer service must be followed at all times. You cannot come into my store looking like you got an attitude or you got some cancerous poison on you. Hey, you, come in. Come on, let's talk. So there's things that we need to identify as leaders in these facilities. And oftentimes, just like at home, if the 15-year-old at work is watching everybody else work, it's their leader. Just like at home, it's the parent. You should not be watching your mama wash dishes. You should be right there drying, there washing. And because, parents, we give kids everything from 1 to 12. then you think they're just going to know what to do at 13. No, you have to teach them and guide them. Hey, you got to help me. So a 15-year-old will not be on my clock. If you were my 15-year-old and you were slow, I'm going to have a conversation. Sweetheart, listen. The beef already dead, baby. Don't kill that beef. Put that beef on that bun. Get these people up out of here. We got 30 minutes to get it done. So I'm going to try to come
What
to
you say?
you
The beef already
on
dead?
your level.
Did you say the beef already dead?
The beef dead. Kill him. And don't be playing with that beef moving on slow. Don't slap that guy on that grill. Put it on that burger. Let's get it out of here. So I try to. And another thing, not for nothing, Spirit. Kids know you don't like them. And a lot of managers that work with these kids, they don't feel like being bothered with them, and they feel that. So there's a multitude of different things that go into managing kids, and oftentimes you want the 15-year-old to operate better than the 25-year-old, and it's not going to happen. So I think it's an imperative understanding that their first job, I love it because you get to teach and mold and form them on the right way of doing things. But I love it. And your spirit is most important, man. If you don't put that good spirit where you really care for them kids and remind them that God is in the midst, you're going to have a problem. And I've had so many ghetto hood parents who thought they would come to check me, shake my hand and say, oh, that's Auntie Toya. Boy, don't you call me no more. Good job, Auntie Toya. And they're going to go on home.
There you go. Rico, what do you say to that, brother? 15 years old.
You know what I do is, first off, I try to make sure I open up a good, positive, direct line of communication with them and have some kind of way we can relate to each other. Because I already know he's 15, so I know I'm gonna have to relate to them on a 15-year-old level, and ain't no telling what kind of environment they came from. Then I'm gonna ask, just like I ask any other child that I don't know. That's from 3 to 13. I ask you, you like school? You go to school? Where you go to school at? You know, I'm gonna, like I said, open up that direct line of communication. I'm gonna see what I can find out about them, because as an adult, I've been around enough to be able to sort of be able to observe and be able to tell maybe what their situation is and what I can expect, especially pertaining to what answer they tell me. Now, they might lie and say they like school. I'll be able to tell if they do, or they might lie and say they're doing good in school. You'll be able to tell by the look in their face when they say it. So then you know, okay, they got a work ethic. They like school. They doing good. They taking honors classes. You about know what you're going to get then. You know what I'm saying? But then if they don't, if they just up in there, man, I need to get a job because I got to help pay the bills, or my mama told me I need to get one. I was going to have to get out or whatever. You know, okay, if she had to force him to get a job to make him do, I know I got this type of way I might have to handle this. Then after that, when you see what they like to do, you open up that build that relationship. Which is going to be quick because you ain't got enough time to do a whole lot, but you still got to be observant enough to get that little information out, because you got to communicate with this person. You just can't come in right off the door and, hey, welcome, new employee, go to work.
Yeah.
You got to have some kind of communication. You're going to be working with these people. Then after that, if I felt comfortable enough with this company to promote it and feel like it was worthy of me, speaking of it positively, I'm going to let this person know the advantages and benefits, the possibilities that they can attain if they do A, B, and C. This can be open to you if this is what you want. Now, if this ain't what you want, you can use this to an advantage to help you in another situation. You get what I'm saying? Because the main thing is if I'm a part of this and we got numbers we got to get, we got hygiene ratings and stuff we got to get from the health department, and we got all these different things we got to accomplish to stay open and be successful. And I feel like you got that potential in you to be successful or be great, maybe be the one that can lead this company better than I can when I leave. Hey, I'm gonna bring you under my wing and we gonna go with it. But I got to make sure that I reinforce to you the things that it's gonna take to make this company successful and make what me and you successful. I want me and you and whatever my crew doing to be the best in this building, or the best of all the buildings. If I'm in one building and I'm working at a Walmart or a company, and there's other companies like mine that's doing the same thing, I want our company to be the best.
Good deal.
And so I'm gonna try to reinforce that to you. You know what I'm saying? Let that be known. And look, man, hey, this is a pride thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about values.
Good
you know,
deal.
The stronger survive, and the ones that there for the wrong reason will weed themselves out. But sooner or later, they're gonna do what you did. They're gonna come around and they're gonna see the value in doing a good job, and they're gonna end up excelling.
Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to that? Anything you want to add to this 15-year-old new employee that's under your wing?
Saying, man, look, I've been 15. My first job, I got fired.
Oh Lord.
The man asked me to get up there. He told me his quote, "Get up there and give me that number off that carpet." And with my self, fired. I said, man, I ain't no monkey. But
Lord.
so he turned to an older gentleman and he said, "Would you get that ladder and get that number off?"
So
I didn't think about the ladder. Dummy. So anyway, what I'm saying is,
you got yourself fired, brother. You wasn't fired. You got yourself fired. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And it happens every day. So we have to grab hold of these young folks and make them think. I'll start. This is what I thought about, man. When it was on my heart when we all was talking. They had me teach vocational Bible school. Would you believe me teaching vocational Bible school? The kids, the teenagers. I don't like fellowshipping with them, but I do anyway. I did anyway. So here's these kids that's cutting up in class, not young teenagers. So they got grandparents or parents in other classes, and they come in my class acting up. I put them out. Come back, Miss whoever brought you here. They said, Toussaint, you can't put people out of vocational Bible school. But when they come back, I make them assist me. Same way on the job.
Yeah.
If you find somebody that's slack, give them responsibility, because really what they're doing is they're looking for attention that they're not getting.
That's good. That's good.
If you see somebody act up, all they want is attention. Give it to them.
That's good. That's good. Minister Neal, and we're talking about 15-year-old, we're talking about these kids. And a lot of times I've learned that a child they really don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And if you show them that you care for them and you have their best interests at heart, they'll run through a brick wall for you. They'll run through that brick wall for you, man.
Yeah, they will.
And ask you, is there another wall you need me to go through? But once they know you care. But if they ever get an idea that you don't care, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You can go ahead and cancel Christmas. Katie ain't coming home. Cancel Christmas. So what do you say to that, man? A child, they don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care.
I mean, that's it's very true, because I'm just reflecting back in my high school years when I wasn't the nicest person in the world at one time.
Come on now.
And everybody who know, like I said, I've had people call in the show that and, have said certain things that how I used to be. And one of the things that saved my life was football. And I could play, and but my first love was basketball.
Okay.
But but at the same token, I kind of made other decisions at that time to do other things. And to
we're not gonna say what the other
right.
things were.
But the thing about it is that football got me to college, and it took my receiver coach to do that. He was the one that he wasn't a father figure, but he was that fire and that whip that I needed, that I needed to move forward. I never forget. I tell the story all the time. And like my buddy called to my Emmett. My guy who played high school ball with me was talking about Emmett. And we was laughing about it because he used to call me Emmett because he knew I used to love Emmett so much when he was at University of Florida.
And I'm a moment I could pick at him. How in the world you gonna be a Pittsburgh Steeler at heart and your favorite running back gonna be Emmett?
Man,
I don't understand.
I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and Emmett was at University of Florida at the time. You got to think now. We're talking about 88, 89. And at the time, Emmett was my man. And I never forget when Fam came calling for me. He called me down to the coach's office. And he says, Coach Hounshield, I'll never forget him. What he said. He said he's passed on. And God rest his soul. He said to me, he said, Neil, he said, I got my frat brother here from Fam. And I'm like, okay, how you doing? You know, like, okay, how you doing? He was like, they're gonna give you a scholarship. Okay. So I was like, scholarship? I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. But me being dumb and naive, I'm telling him, well, you know, University of Georgia is supposed to come. Coach Hounshield said, look, I'm giving the PG version. I don't give a darn about none of that. He said, I know your mother is a single parent. You better sign this so-and-so letter. And I signed it right. And I signed it right. I signed it right there in front of them. And I never forget, they folded up the papers, put it back in a vanilla envelope, and said, you need to give this to your mama. And I never forget, he called my mother by her first. He said, you give this to Beverly. And I'm going to call her tonight and tell her what she needs to sign. And you bring that back to me ASAP. If it wasn't for that man who took that stance with me and informed me of stop playing around. This is your future that's right here, the struggle for being. When I got in trouble at school, I called him. When I have issues, I called him. He wasn't and people always say, well, he was like your father. No, he wasn't like a father. He was my confidant. He was somebody I could talk to. I could be Ricky. He didn't see me as a football player. He saw me as a young man who needed guidance. And that's what I'm hearing is that sometimes you have to have that instinct. And number two, you know, I'm big about assignments. Everybody can guide these kids. So we need to stop making it seem like every time I see one, I could do this because you're lying.
And I'm gonna tell you something, Ricky. And that's one of the reasons why I've never really been a Hoyer fan, but I've always been a fan of John Thompson.
Oh man, that's what made it.
Man, the stance he took with the guys that he had.
With Prop 48.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Prop 48. Yeah. I mean, this is like, I can give you a prime example. What made me a Georgetown fan is when they lost in 82 to North Carolina. And
Michael Jordan.
When Freddie Brown threw that ball to James Worthy, that's not what really made him lose the game, but that kind of like turned the tide.
And
I never forget, I had a poster on my wall where John Thompson had Freddie Brown in his arms and was shaking Dean Smith hand, congratulating him on winning the championship. And I never forget, I say, that's the kind of coach I would love to play for. And I've always been a Georgetown fan ever since then. You know, I got a lot of Hoyer gear. I've always been a Georgetown fan. I don't care how sorry they are. And I look at Patrick Ewing, I look at the Lonzo Mournings. I look at David Wingate was from Baltimore. They said David Wingate was from West Side. Him and Reggie Williams are from the West Side part of Baltimore, which is where they did the Wire. Anybody familiar with the Wire on HBO? That's what they did.
Kurt talk about it all the time.
Right, when they did the Wire. Right. I mean, Kurt could tell you. He went over there to this school called Dunbar High School, which is on one of the roughest sides of Baltimore. And he said he walked in with no entourage, no nothing. And he recruited them guys out of inner city. That's one thing I loved about it. And sometimes I tell people all the time, before I became a preacher, I never forget when the mother of the church told me, he said, baby, always remember, God called the unqualified to make them qualified.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you're not qualified to be with that child. You're not qualified to be with this child. But when that child comes, you'll know it. That's why I love being in the barbershop. Because you look at these guys and you hear them navigate and hear how they talk.
Okay. All right, preacher. We got to move on now, preacher.
I'm done.
Okay. Now,
I've been done. I'll wait till you tell me to cut the mic off.
Look here. All right, preacher. Now, preacher. Hey, look.
I'm done.
Amen.
Hey, man, whatever. You know, I should never tell you about that.
Amen.
That joker boy was something, boy.
Exactly. But look here, I'm looking at the clock, man. It's time for us to really get out of here, man. But does anybody have anything? This was good today, man. And I hope some of the young folks that's out there will have an opportunity to hear what we talked about today. I hope that some of the young folks. Goddess, what's on your heart? Give me the quick version. You know, we at 10 o'clock.
I just wanted to make sure that it's good for parents to start their own business, to teach their children about business. That's a great start to start them off at a young age. That's how I started. Learned real estate. So whatever that you're doing, if you're an electrician, start your kids off doing stuff small. If you do plumbing, these are all trades that are very important to society, that is needed. Get them off of them video games. But if you do got them in video games, get them into some coding and how to start doing video games, robots, how to build robotics. Get them doing stuff other than just sports. Other than just sports.
Good
Sports
deal.
are cool.
Okay. Good deal. Now I'm going around everybody the quick version now. I want everybody quick version. I was going to say Wade, but Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Quick version.
It's just hoping people remember that treat everyone as you want to be treated.
Yeah.
In a workplace, in life, and everything, because you haven't walked in other people's shoes, so you can't speak for them, but you can be a part of.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, quick version, brother.
Keep the human aspect of the community in the workplace. Just understand that you're working with people. Don't get caught up and consumed with the numbers game and the rat race that you are a part of. Always remember your human element.
Good deal. Good deal. Toussaint, quick version.
They say always do the right thing, even when nobody's looking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Toya with a T, quick version. Toya with a T. Toya, wait.
All about starting their own business. They don't trapped up now or go to work. I was learning the elements that make it successful. Work with them. Just have to start their own business early, because I just don't believe in the way to give them that option when they get old. That's great, and I think
you kind of breaking up on us just a little bit there. I'm being distracted because I see a police in front of our building here. If y'all saw me pointing, that's when I was pointing at. He in front of the building over here, man. He said somebody come to get somebody. Ain't all y'all okay in it? Nobody said a word.
Where I'm at.
Exactly.
That's just the feds watching. That's all that is.
That's all that is. That's all it is. K with the E. K with the E. Quick version.
Just stay prayed up.
There you go. There you go.
That is literally all I can tell people is just to stay prayed up. And if you ain't tried prayer, try it.
There you go. Good deal. Leonard, the quick version, brother.
The quick version is that everyone should have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. Now, what's going on at 3 o'clock? I thought you were going to hit me with it.
If you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, you can log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. It's been a great broadcast. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. More than that, let me see. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and the Morning Glow to be a part of your day. It is now 10:04. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get. Somebody got something going on real serious. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. It was something on the phone. It was something on the phone, and I disconnected the phone line. Somebody's phone line was going crazy. Be their last. Love you. And if you get an opportunity to give somebody else some love, you just might find some love in return. Minister Neil, your prayers out.
Stick to cross. Blessed, gracious, and wonderful Father, we come to you at this time to step aside to say thank you for this day, this morning, and this sunrise. Lord, we pray that each and every one of us that was on this podcast this morning, that the blessings of the heaven that comes down and pour down in their household, their spirits, their mind, and their souls. We give you all the honor and all the glory this time, Lord, for just waking us up this morning and giving us the grace and mercy that we do not deserve. But we bless you right now, Lord, for giving us your love, your Son, King Jesus, who hung on the cross as we summoned last night. Lord, we bless you and we honor you, and we give you all the honor and all the glory. And Lord, as we go to our several homes, that we give traveling mercy to the ones that are traveling, and to the ones that are at home right now. Father God, we bless their homes in the mighty name of Jesus. Bless their families and bless the loved ones of these gracious and wonderful men and women of God. We thank you right now that you have given us this opportunity. So as we go forward today, Father God, we ask you right now to guide us, to strengthen us, and to keep our minds stayed on thee.
Yes,
Lord, we asking you right now, as the Bible has declared that the Savior has already come, but the Bible has also declared that he's coming again. We ask you right now to lift us up into your kingdom and crown us when it's our time to come home to glory. We bless you and we love you. In his precious sweet name, my King Jesus and the Savior, I do pray. Amen, amen, and amen.
Amen. I'll put this on the screen so everybody can see it, just in case anybody missed it. Rico, you might want to look at that there, man. You see it right there?
I went for y'all last week against the Browns. Now I'm good. This week I'm going for the Browns again. I don't care. I'm a traitor.
Look here.
I ain't loyal.
Look here. What you did, and it's gonna hold true. Last week you said you went for us and we lost, right? This week you're going for the Browns. Guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna lose. We're gonna beat the brakes off them boys. We're gonna beat the brakes off them. And who's next? I'm just wondering who's next, because the Browns are done.
Even whoever next for y'all don't want to see him.
No. They don't want to see us. They don't want to see us. They don't want to see us. As a matter of fact, they might cancel their reservation. I'm just saying.
If my Titans and my Ravens lose, I'm a Chiefs fan after that.
So you just ain't coming on this you just ain't coming on this out of town.
Now, low key, I will. I tell you my little my thing for Mike Tomlinson, for real. You know what I'm saying? I really don't hate about Pittsburgh like that.
Yeah. Tell him what he need to do.
Hey, convert, brother.
I ain't gonna convert, but I'll give y'all a little support though.
There you go. Hey, you all have a great day. Enjoy your weekend and love each other. Have a great day, y'all.